How you doing? 303 with a Kimmer and Pecan. Flounder. Da-da-da-dum. Oh, man. You know, I think we're all about up to here with this whole Hamas and Israel and the war and the vote and the Republicans and the Congress. I mean, God,
every day, man.
Honestly, I'm done with it. Well, anyway, I don't want to talk about me, but I remember when I was retired down in Florida, I had horses and golf and sports center. And I'd wake up in the early morning, and my morning guys in the sports thing, and I'd go to the stable, and then I'd go to the golf course, and then I'd come back home, and then I'd go back to the stable, and then I'd go and do whatever I wanted at sports center. And the two guys, the little Jewish guy and the black guy, in the afternoon at 5 o'clock.
I'm going to let you hang yourself.
No, wait a minute.
Here's more rope.
No, Tony Cornhorse or Horse Clarker.
Kornheiser.
Yeah, Tony Klingklanker. And I can't remember the other guy's name. I like him.
Will
He's
Bond.
He
hates Atlanta.
Yeah, he hates Atlanta. He's kind of snotty. He got a little racial for a while.
Chicago.
Yeah. But I mean, I respect him. He's certainly a basketball pro. Well, I know you don't like him for the things, but anyway. So all right, sorry, I got distracted there. But anyway, we're up to here. So we have to talk about it. We're going to talk about all the newsy stuff. In fact, we just now, we spent a lot of work getting research on all these topics here. And the headline I have in front of me from the story we have: Jordan, as in would-be Speaker Jordan, cancels third speaker's vote. Will back McHenry until January. Well, not anymore. They just decided. Apparently, Matt Gaetz threw his monkey wrench into it again and said there's a constitutional issue. Oh. And so they said, well, I guess we can't do this. Again, it's here we go. They're just, it's just unbelievable.
Real quick, we have Patricia on the line, and she wanted to talk about this very exact subject.
Excellent. Well, let's do that. 404-741-1230, 741-1230. We love phone calls. We encourage all your phone calls. Patricia, thank you for being the first one today. How you doing? Welcome aboard. What's up?
Thank you, Kimmer. I have a thought.
Yeah.
Why don't we bring back Newt Gingrich and the Contract for America as Speaker, since you don't have to be a member of the House any longer to hold the speakership?
Yeah, that's right. You could be Speaker. Yeah. Hell, I could be Speaker. I could be Pope.
I think Newt Gingrich proved what he was about, bringing the Republicans, Democrats together with the Contract of America. And if we ever need him, we need Newt now.
Well, I'm not sure if a lot of folks would agree with that. But again, he was there at an important time. However, he also kind of let the impeachment thing go through his fingers.
I don't think he brought Democrats in on the Contract to America, but he definitely brought them in on NAFTA. How did that work out?
Yeah, well, now, Pete, let's not be Patricia's very nice to call
him. And he's not divisive at all.
No, Pete, Patricia, I'm going to have to apologize for my friend here. He's got hair across. I mean, he's woke up on the wrong side of the web this morning, apparently.
Golly,
Kimmer.
Golly, Sean.
Anyway, I bet you're as fed up as we are, Patricia, about the whole nonsense.
I sure am.
Yeah.
I sure am. Thank you, Kimmer.
All right, sweetie. All right, David. I'll talk to you later. 307.
No, but she didn't say thank me.
Well, you were ornery. I'm sorry. You were ornery to the Kimmer family.
I mean, that's a better idea than what they've got right now, but Newt Gingrich is a pretty divisive figure.
Yeah. I mean, but again, it just figures. I mean, honestly, it just figures. Yesterday, and then all this morning, the story changed, and now it changed again, and here we go, Republicans. It's just nonsense.
Is there any person in America that both sides could say, you know what, we're not 100% behind them, but we at least trust them, they're fair and honest? Is there anybody left?
A retired judge, a retired...
Who?
I don't know. How about that? Well, no, see, everybody's political.
I know.
There's nobody...
Everybody's compromised.
Hell, you couldn't get Billy Graham if he were alive to go in there.
Franklin?
No way. He's too religious.
Yeah, Dems wouldn't want him in there.
There's no chance. I mean, oh my God, think about this. Think about anybody. We need an answer to this. And at 308, we just threw a whole monkey wrench into the show. Can you name a single person in America that's well known in America today who would be able to be voted on by both the Democrats and Republicans in Congress to be a temporary speaker, a legitimate, I don't mean just, like Oprah. I mean, a legitimate legal scholar or lawyer or judge or a former congressman or senator, somebody that all the sides would support. Is there anybody you can think of? anybody you can think of?
No.
I can't. In any field. I mean, forget show business, but I mean, you know, Ronald Reagan was an actor, so I mean, but literally, is there anybody?
Actors are paid liars.
Yeah.
Why anyone pays attention to an actor?
Is there anybody who would give legitimacy to actually working with Congress and be able to, you know, in a legal manner, actually do things for the good of the country as a legal representative in Congress? Is there anybody, a retired Supreme Court? I mean, anybody, a judge, lawyer, teacher? Professor.
You know who they'd probably put up there and he'd probably win?
Who?
Snoop Dogg.
I'm seriously, isn't that amazing? There's
First
not
action
one
of president is hotbox the Oval Office.
I've got one.
Yeah, what do you?
Peyton Manning.
Oh, they'll find his accent. There'll be something wrong with his from
What about his
Tennessee
brother,
to Louisiana.
Eli?
I like Eli better.
Yeah, have
He's
both of
funnier.
them. Have the both of them. I mean, honestly, can you really? Of course, he couldn't do the job. He's a football player. But is there literally anybody in the business of governing? Jimmy Carter. I mean, you know, nobody. There's not a person in America today who could bring everybody together and who would be trustworthy enough and
only
respected
Mr.
enough.
Rogers was still alive.
Captain Kangaroo.
Well,
and you know what? We haven't named any women. You notice that?
Well,
name a woman. Try and find a woman.
How about the former Secretary of State and now the
Condoleezza Rice.
Condoleezza Rice.
Democrats won't vote for her.
There you are.
Well, actually, the Bush people are all back in vogue now. They love the Bush administration now. Maybe she could.
Who was middle of the road enough in politics in the last 10 years?
There isn't any middle of the road left.
I know.
Yeah, what about Sarah Huckabee Sanders?
No, she just kicked the Chinese out of Arkansas.
Right.
How
For
dare
America.
She?
Yeah.
But Democrats hate her.
The Democrats will hate her forever. Again, isn't that amazing? You can't think of one person who could unify, and even temporarily, 2 months.
Yeah.
2 months. And they can't get a guy to do the job for 2 months.
Jerry Springer's gone.
Jerry's gone. Geraldo, he's around.
No, we don't.
Anyway,
Walt's on the line. He has an idea for speakership.
I should you say Monk?
Walt.
Hey, Walt, you're on the radio, man. What's going on?
Hey, guys. I got a name for you. It's a man that's been on the 5 on Fox for many, many, many times.
Okay.
Harold Ford Jr.
No.
Oh, I don't like him. He's a smarmy liberal. He's a fakely. I've caught him many times going, well, as you know, President Trump really is a secret agent. But seriously, what they know, as though he kind of slips in these things on like a Shakespearean aside. Iago is tupping your white hue. Kind of, what the hell is that all about? No, I don't like him, but I think he's probably a nice man, but he's just sneaky.
He's Obama light.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's a former congressman, and
that's true. He's on 5 all the time.
He's probably one of the most reasonable Democrats I've ever heard.
He's definitely not a fire thrower. I mean, he seems like a middle of the road reasonable guy. But I've caught him more. I used to back when we weren't working. I watched the 5 basically every day, and I caught him a lot of times doing that kind of sneaky stuff. What?
Nothing.
I missed it entirely. All right, I gotta go. You're killing me. Thank you, Walt.
One thing I noticed when you're telling about your great life you had retired in Miami and
it was in Miami.
Your life now.
Palm Beach Gardens.
I noticed there's one thing that you didn't mention either time.
What?
Women.
Yeah, well, I didn't have any. My heart had been killed. Right. There was no possibility.
So we can't think of one woman.
Actually, I had probably 15 girls who were all adored me because I took care of everyone. We ever went anywhere, I did everything.
Yeah.
I used to make sandwiches. When we went to horse shows, I used to make the sandwiches for all the girls, and I would take them in my car, and we have a 2 or 3 caravan, between 15 and 25. And I would...
moving forward, just say 18 to 25.
You've just indicted yourself.
I said 18.
Your Honor, he said...
I swear to God, I said 18. And I would take those French rolls, and I would heat them up, and I would make chicken and cheese and slices of avocado and a little mayonnaise, and I put them all in individually wrapped for all the girls, and I would have snacks and drinks in coolers in my hot rod, and we would go to the stable and I'd pick them up, and off we go to the horse shows.
Once again, as I speak for Flounder, we'll always remember where we were the day you gave us the recipe.
By the way, you noticed that our friend Dan yesterday didn't have any of that in there, did he?
Dan who?
Dan who gave us a whole rundown on everything I've ever said in my life on a freaking radio.
Glenn.
Glenn. Yeah,
he did point out that later on you did do one of those stories.
Well, there you are.
The Edison story.
313 with a Kimmer, Pete, Flounder, and Glenn on the old 106.3 or something. Here, look out. Great beat. Look out. 318 with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And Spencer Davis, baby. We got the beat. That's what I said. Yeah. And it was on this day 3 years ago. Spencer Davis, one of the key figures of the 60s beat scene, died 3 years ago this day, the age of 81. He was a Welsh guitarist and the driving force behind the Spencer Davis Group, scored transatlantic hits with Keep On Runnin', Somebody Help Me. The band had a teenage Stevie Winwood, who toured with The Who and the Rolling Stones in the 60s. I'll be darned, I didn't know that. His name was Spencer Davis. 319 with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder birthdays. Quick birthday, Ty Pennington. The Extreme Makeover Home Edition guy used to be the carpenter on Trading Spaces. Ty Pennington is 59 today. Happy birthday to him. And a quick note in history, if you don't mind, this day, 1917, World War I. Women volunteers from the Salvation Army deep fried the first donut for American troops in France. They were called doughboys. As you know, 1917, the first donut for the... That's pretty cool. All right, here's our phone number, 404-741-1230. Oh, we have a phone call right there. Also, Pete, we have a list. Pete found this list of the best and worst fast food chains. Burgers and pizza and Mexican and I think Asian or Chinese, whatever. Anyway, so we'll spun with that. Also, all the news, Sidney Powell and Republican stuff. First of all, to the phones, it's Megan on with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Hi, Megan. Welcome aboard. I appreciate you calling. What's up?
Oh, hey, how sorry. I was daydreaming there for about Ty Pennington.
Yes.
I was sorry.
That's all right. You like old Ty, do you? Ty's, they say they call him a stud. Yeah.
Local boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe he's 59. He's the bomb.
There you go. Yes.
So I have two things to let you know, Kimber.
Yes.
First of all, I, for the longest time, I didn't like your show. I really didn't like you. And people would call in and go, Kimber, great to have you back. And I was like, what are they talking about? Who is this guy? and I happen, right? I know there are people out there right now saying, yeah, exactly. But let me tell you. After,
yeah, you're not alone, I'm sure. Thanks for reminding me. I'm sure of it.
Of course, yes. Okay, but if they give you some time, because listen, I've been listening to talk radio for 25 plus years now. I'm a huge nerd with talk radio, and I've been known to watch C-SPAN on occasion too, so my friends know I'm a nerd. But if people will just give you a little bit of time, you have grown on me, and I actually could almost say I like you, Kimmer. I really can.
Well, I'm flattered and surprised and very happy to have you say that. You've made my entire afternoon.
Well, I also have to tell you, I honestly think if you were the next Speaker of the House, more people would tune into C-SPAN. I wouldn't be alone.
Yeah, what's he going to do next?
Get up to 4 people.
Exactly. Yes, because I assure you I'm the only one in the country who probably watches it. So you keep up the good work.
Thank
you.
You
keep making me laugh.
Thank you, Miss Megan.
I appreciate you so much.
You're very sweet to call, and I thank you so much, and thank you for you call anytime, any subject, good or bad. Thank you, darling.
All right,
sweet. All right, baby. Thank you, sweet. 322. That was nice. Well, no, I mean, I know I'm annoying. I'm annoying, and I'm what's the word? Repulsive. I don't know. I'm hideous. Don't you look away? But I guess I mean and I can't help it. It's just it's. But I'm really not like a monster. Am I a monster? I could be I could be a monster.
I'm not a monster.
I don't know.
I am a human being.
And now this break from the news. By the way, I'm nervous about the Sidney Powell chick. The lawyer is going to throw Trump under the bus. We'll get to that in a minute. First of all, Pete came across this very interesting little list here.
Yes, it's the fast food joints. They rated it state by state, the best and worst. Let's start with donuts here. Of course, and we all know this, Krispy Kreme is the #1 best loved donut shop in the world. I mean, they have them in London.
Yeah,
they're great.
That.
Yes, I love Krispy Kreme. They're #1 everywhere. Guess who's the worst in 31 states? Pretty much the worst all over the place.
I find this hard to believe.
I don't.
Think I know what
Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts, they're the worst.
The only good thing, they have good coffee.
They have good eclairs. I don't drink coffee, so I wouldn't know. They're good, nice people, but the donuts taste like concrete.
Well, I have to say they have the old-fashioned, which is kind of sugar-coated or kind of like that melted sugar-coated old-fashioned donuts are freaking delicious.
But you can use them as like baseballs.
No, they're hearty and
no, Krispy Kreme it melts in your mouth.
The thing is with Dunkin' Donuts, if you put it in the microwave for about 5 to 7 seconds, it's delicious.
Yeah. Anyway, we have different.
So it's kind of said you got to nuke it.
Yeah,
you literally have to nuke it to make it edible.
I like solid donuts. I like hearty, solid donuts that are warmed up and stuff. And I love Krispy Kreme, but I'm always not in the mood for a Krispy Kreme. I like those nice old-fashioned donuts.
The Kaiser.
My mother used to make donut. When I come home from school, my mother was deep frying on the stove, boiling oil, making donuts.
That's a good way to burn the house down, too.
She made donuts and homemade bread and all that stuff for 5 kids.
Wait a minute. You just said the donut wasn't invented until 1917.
Oh, very funny, mister.
Gotcha there. So basically, everyone agrees that Dunkin' Donuts sucks.
I guess we have.
Tim Hortons is the worst in Michigan and Ohio, by the way. Other ones who made somehow Tennessee, Mississippi, and Louisiana like Shipley Donuts. I'm not a big fan of Shipley Donuts. You find them every once in a while around. I've never heard of Lamar's Donuts. You ever heard of Lamar's Donuts? Or Winchell's. I've heard of Winchell's.
Yeah. They're in the stores, too. You can get those in a lot of grocery
Tim
stores.
Hortons. But yeah, that's the donut.
I'll be damned. Now, they didn't have like Entenmann's anywhere?
Well, that's kind of a store chain. We're talking standalone.
Yeah, we're talking about
fast food. Entenmann's.
Right.
Oh, those chocolate-covered ones? You dip it in the milk and it soaks up the milk.
For example, Entenmann's has the ones I'm talking about, the cake donuts, the old cake donuts with the sugary coating.
They're 40 days old by the time you get them. Yeah, of course they're solid.
Such an
but if Dunkin' Donuts has just made them and they still are like rocks, there's a problem with that. I did say their eclairs are good. Their Kaiser is good.
The Kaiser eclairs, they're wonderful things in every way.
I told you about the Dunkin' that was caught selling meth up in Murphy, Tennessee.
Yeah, which like a little, like a little extra on the side there. Oh, yeah, wink, wink. Ixnay on the orderly of the Ona Day, the F-May, 326 already. This makes me a little nervous. Sidney Powell is pleading guilty. She made a deal with Fannie Chicken Liver, the Gangland Mall prosecutor in the Georgia case. Sidney Powell, one of Trump's key lawyers in the overturning fraud claims or extortion or whatever the hell they got, overturning the country as a result of the 2020 election. She has avoided jail time. They gave her, now I heard on the radio originally it was 6 months probation. It says here 6 years. I assume it's 6 years probation. And a fine of several $1,000s, but it's $5 or $6 grand, I think. Anyway, so Sidney Powell, she was one famous for saying, and I heard her on the radio saying this over and over and over, I've seen the evidence. The corrupted member of the voting machines. They could, they could plug in the numbers and they could do it to them. We said, well, where? And she said, well, we got it. It's coming. And they never saw it. Well, now she has been, she was charged as part of this, conspiracy, the RICO Act and all this other crap, part of Trump's strike force. And she publicly made unfounded claims about manipulation of voting machines. Now, she's made a deal, and the prosecutor saying, if you're a prosecutor, you could not enter this deal with Sidney Powell unless you had been thoroughly convinced she's telling the truth and will be able to testify for you credibly in a way that will put it in front of a jury. And they're going to use her to go after Donald Trump and all the others on the case. And obviously, the conclusion is that she flipped.
But she's a liar. She's a proven liar then. Who would believe her?
The only way they're going to have to cross-examine the hell out of her personal characteristics and character and lies. And, they bring every radio announcer ever interviewed her to say, gee golly, she was lying to us. She never came across with anything.
Can someone ask her point blank, where was this evidence? Yeah. Were you making it up the entire time, or did someone threaten your family and you can't say it?
The only thing that bothers me, though, is not even on that. I mean, so they may say, well, she was lying about the evidence, but that doesn't mean they necessarily will also say that she's lying about she and Trump talking about what to do. Still, that's a bunch of crap. I mean, that's a lawyer talking with her client on how to, so again, this whole thing is a joke. It's going to get thrown out in the Supreme Court when it gets there, because you can't have a lawyer testify against her client in order to protect herself on something where you legitimately said, how can we change? What do we do about this election?
That's under the old American law system. Too. We're not under that anymore.
Yeah, who's that smarmy little turd who did it with Trump before? Is Michael Cohen. They didn't even get tape recordings of their conversations. I think they were played in court when Michael Cohen made a deal to stay out of prison.
We no longer have rule of law in this country. It's rule of man.
It's unfreaking believable. Anyway, she's going to testify apparently for the prosecution.
I want to hear her say it.
Yeah.
Was there any truth at all to it?
Right. And by the way, another one of the Trump supporters got jail time for the phony "Don't vote for Hillary" tweeting social media thing, and something coming up on Cher's promise, "Please God be true." Here's a point about what we were talking about this yesterday. Try to find a story today about the people arrested during yesterday's insurrection at the Capitol. And by the way, the only story they were saying while we were on the air yesterday was that 3 police officers were possibly assaulted. There were 300 people arrested. 300. And yet you can't find a story in the news today about them being arrested. Have they been charged? Are they in jail? Were they handcuffed? Are they in solitary confinement like the insurrection people? If they had been wearing MAGA hats and shutting down the government like these liberals were yesterday, they'd all be in solitary. I'll guarantee it. And their press isn't even asking what happened to them. It's a cover-up. It's a freaking cover-up. Here we go again. You lousy, dirty sneaks. There's no free press in this country. America's lost its freaking freedom of media, press, and expression. Cover-up and liars. I'm sick of it. 3:30, look out. 336. Look out. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis, sidekick producer and sports wreck on tour extraordinaire. And the mechanical mangler flounder at the controls. Look out. Yeah, look out. Here we go. There you go. Look out. 2010. On this day, Elton John did an interview with Radio Times magazine. Elton John described today's songwriters in 2010 as pretty awful, pop music as uninspiring, and talent shows like American Idol boring. Well, I suppose for him it probably is true. I've never. I feel kind of. I've always sort of wanted to. I've never watched American Idol, and I've never. What's the one where they turn around in chairs and there's some mystery of who's singing or something? What the hell is that? What's that? Flounder, what's that one? There's some show where they're in chairs and they spin around and they don't know who's singing or some crap thing. America's favorite mystery singer. Some major. It's on all the time. I see it on TV Guides listing all the time. Don't you know what I'm talking about? Secret.
Yeah, Reba McEntire's on there now. Blake Shelton.
The Masked Singer.
No, that's not the Masked Singer.
But no, it's a judging thing of judging. But I don't know what the hell. I mean,
that idiot John Legend's on there, and yeah.
I've never watched any of those things. Another one I've never seen, America's Got Talent. And apparently they have guys who can do like quadruple somersaults on one finger while riding a flaming horse and saving a woman from jumping off a bridge or something.
That's Ted Back's Amateur Hour.
Yeah, I remember that one too. Anyway, 337.
America's Got Talent, Dancing with the Stars, The Voice.
The Voice. That was the one. That was, I can't well, what's the point of that show?
That was being discussed this morning at the Trump Cafe. I stopped that.
Now, what's the point of the show? Did they have to get, is it a secret who's singing and they don't know it? What's the point?
They don't see who's singing. They just hear the voice. And then they decide whether they want to be the coach for that person. And then they fight over who's the coach.
Well, then who cares what they look like? I'm surprised you're not as ugly as I thought you'd be, kind of deal? Or?
I think it's a racial thing.
It's probably racial. Yeah, probably.
They don't like people with afros.
No, they just don't like the afro people. Birthday list includes John Lithgow, 78 today. Yeah. He's a great actor, by the way. In fact, it's almost hard to believe. If you remember him as Dick on Third Rock from the Sun, and Lord Farquaad in Shrek, and the Trinity Killer on Dexter.
Yes,
now,
very good.
Wasn't he also in Terms of Endearment? Wasn't that him?
He was in The World According to Garp. That's where we first saw him.
Yeah.
He played a transsexual.
Yeah. I mean, the guy is an amazing actor.
He is.
I mean, he also played a murderer in a Denzel Washington movie where he was up on some giant Ferris wheel or something and got electrocuted, and Denzel Washington had to strip down. He had a gun in his underpants or something. You remember that movie?
Didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. It was a Denzel Washington. And
I think this is a dream you had.
John Lithgow and Denzel Washington. And Denzel Washington I think he was like a cop who got convicted of murder or something, and he got out, and then the guy did it, and so he tracked John Lithgow up to some giant like Ferris wheel or something or other at an amusement park, and then they had electrocution of some kind or flames and sparks, and he had a gun hidden in his underpants, and he had to take up his clothes off to show he wasn't a thing. I swear to God, it's a great movie. Anyway, John Lithgow's 78. All right, there you go. Well, I got distracted. Let's see, one more. The Saturday, on this day, 1973, how could I forget? The Saturday Night Massacre is coming. President Nixon, on this day in 73, refused to turn over his Watergate tape recordings to the special prosecutor, Archibald Cox. But he said, I will give you a summary. Yeah, that went over like a fart in church. And Archibald Cox says, we want the tapes, period. So it was going to happen then. A couple of days later, he got fired, and that began the Saturday Night Massacre, as it was called, and my phone call to Herman Talmadge at his home when he was hammered, and I tricked him into giving me a comment because he said it wouldn't be fair. I was on the Watergate committee at the time, and I called him at home. I was working, said it was a Saturday night, and I called him at home, and he said, wouldn't be fair.
Herman Talmadge story.
Now, see, that was not in Glenn's thing yesterday either.
October 19th.
I don't think the Herman Talmadge thing was in Glenn's yesterday story when he said everything I've ever said about everything I've ever done, and this one's out, so I got to do this one today, which is why I picked this thing in history today.
Okay.
Herman Talmadge. So he said, I got to finish this story.
No, you don't. There's now a moratorium on any more Watergate stories. No one cared at the time, and no one cares now. No, it's boring.
God.
It's boring history. Of all history, that's boring history to go back. You know,
what is wrong with you?
It was boring to live through.
Boring?
Boring. It's boring.
Well, it wasn't boring when Herman Talbot said it wouldn't be fair for me to give you a comment because I'm on the committee. I said, well, if you could comment, what would you say? And then he commented. That was pretty unboring.
Flounder, have you heard that story before?
Well, my God. There must be 9 people listening
Are you talking about the boring one?
Never heard this story. He wasn't even listening now, let alone the last time. You can all kiss my ass. How about that?
Well, how far back is the history?
1973 or something.
72.
72.
Yeah. Actually, my first radio job was 1965. Well, you asked.
No, I didn't.
All right, then forget it. Forget I said anything. 341. By the way, I had screw both of you bastards. You know, you've been with that grouchy and
Wait a minute.
curmudgeonly Jesus.
Just if there's one thing that we can get through one story without you somehow managing to turn it around to you.
Well, I'm going to pay a tribute to our sweet friend, Lady Babe Amanda, who was in here this afternoon. When
She
I
helped
came
us
in.
out today.
Yeah, she did. She always does. And I talked to her and I asked her if she's ready to watch The Golden Bachelor tonight. She's a big fan of The Golden Bachelor TV show about the oldies trying to find last love for their life. And she's, she's what, 23 or I don't know, whatever. And she's a huge fan. And we both remarked they are now saying apparently this show has actually saved the franchise of The Bachelor and Bachelorette.
So they're all going to be old from now on out.
I hope. I mean, to me, it's so. I'm going to watch it. It'll take. I have to stop and watch. It'll take me all night and half of tomorrow morning getting ready for work.
Well, of course, they're going to go into the complete opposite for the next one. So what they'll do is they'll get a 13-year-old girl or boy and have a public school teacher try and pick one out.
Yeah, well, man, it's unbelievable. Anyway, so she's very excited about tomorrow. We're going to have a conversation about the old Bachelor show that'll be on tonight. And by the way, it's going to be late because President Stupid Face is doing somebody else's speech. He's going to read somebody else's speech.
I'll be watching Loki, so I won't care about either one of them.
Is there a ball game on tonight? Got to be a ball game, right?
Yes, the Phillies and Diamondbacks play again tonight.
No, I'll bet they're going to delay it too. Which is it on the Sports South or is it on the Fox?
See, I don't get TBS where I am, so I have to watch the Spanish version on the MLB station, which is very entertaining, by the way.
Now, if it's on TBS is not going to break away for Biden's speech.
Probably not, I hope.
Okay, well, I'll just watch a freaking ball game. I'm not going to watch that guy.
Well, we should play what he did on the plane back.
Oh, yeah. In fact, you want to do that now? Let's do that now. This is unbelievable. First of all,
do it quick if we're going to do it at the...
Well, no, we got to. We're fine.
Okay.
It's a minute. The President's Stupid Face, first of all, was making a joke about the Palestinians' aim when they're shooting. And also, he was talking to people on the plane coming back from Israel. And we'll just... the pause that we are not editing any of this. This is your president as he was on the plane talking to reporters. Oh, I'm sorry. Were you in the back? Sorry. There.
Virtually every mass shooting, every circumstance where a large number of people have been victimized and lost, I've spoken. I learned a long time ago that you will learn in your life. Someone's going through something that is beyond their comprehension that they ever thought they'd have to go through. If they see someone who they think understands or maybe been through something not the same but similar, it gives them some sense of hope. And I always get criticized sometimes on my staff because when I go to these events, I stay for 3 or 4 hours and answer all the questions. But it matters. It matters a lot. And look, I'm talking, some of you have gone through a hell of a lot more than I've gone through, and a lot more than other people have gone through. And you understand. So it's just people are looking for just something to grab, something that gives them some sense of hope. And that's, if I can do a little bit of that, then it's worth doing. It's done for me. So.
Well, it's kind of hard to understand that, but he's mumbling. His staff people behind him.
Oh, Kirby, the national security guy, is looking at Blinken like, oh, my God, I told you this was a bad idea.
Don't let him talk to the people on the plane.
Yeah. He's asleep.
It's just. He also is making, again, remember yesterday we actually had the comment. You heard the comment of him saying, talking about who was responsible for the explosion at it wasn't really at the hospital in Gaza. It was at their parking lot, and maybe 20 people got killed, not 300 or 500 like they said. Anyway, responsible. And he said, well, we don't think it was you. We think it was the other team. The other team? Like some kind of sporting event? I mean, literally, what president would say, well, it was probably the other team? Because I guarantee you he could not remember the word Hamas. He probably was going to say Gazans or something, or the Gaz holes. Honest to God, I mean, the man was just... So then he makes another joke. I'm not making this up. He said, after the explosions, he says, I'm not suggesting that Hamas deliberately did it, the explosion of the thing. He said on the way back to Washington, it's that old thing, got to learn how to shoot straight. Got to learn how to shoot straight. Making cracks about the explosion at the hospital, which led to all the worldwide protests about what those dirty Jews did, according to the Arabs, about blowing up children at the hospital deliberately. It's unbelievable. They got to learn how to shoot straight. If Donald Trump had said such a thing, oh my God.
Yeah.
Remember, they roasted him because he said Donald Trump made the mistake of saying there are good people on both sides of the debate over taking down statues. He wasn't talking about good people and Nazis. He wasn't talking about good people in the KKK. Donald Trump said, and the issue was the taking down of the statues, and that's what led to the riot. And Donald Trump said there are good people on both sides of the issue of taking down statues. That doesn't mean, it had nothing to do with Nazis, and he got roasted for it, and he's still getting roasted for it. He's still getting blamed as a racist for that. Had nothing to do with racism. And if Donald Trump had said any of this kind of stuff that this guy says, and by the way, again, where the hell are the stories today? And if there had been 300 MAGA hat wearing protesters yesterday shutting down the Capitol, they would still be going live at the scene. They would all still be in handcuffs in solitary confinement, and there would have been bodies in the street at this time around if it had been more MAGA hats at the Capitol. And the press would be celebrating. 348 with the Kimmer, Pete, and Fonda. Someone wrote the word Trump on the sidewalk at Emory University, and the campus was almost shut down. They actually had to have meetings where people could go to get over the microaggression of how their lives were turned upside down by seeing the word Trump in chalk on the sidewalk.
Let's face it, everybody under the age of 30 is pretty much a wuss.
It's unbelievable. I mean, seriously, that was true. That's true. We're not making that up. Remember? Oh my God! Here we go. Play a little flounder here. Flounder music. Here we go. On me, take me on.
What does that mean?
Take me on.
Take on me.
No, take on me. Take on me, baby. I'm yours. Get your stuff. Let's go. In fact, leave it here. I'll get everything you need later. You ever did that?
Hey, babe, we'll be back to pick you up later. What, you Mr. Microphone over there?
No, all of a sudden I'm going back to like 1958 black and white movie genres of the...
Hey, doll, pick up
baby.
your stuff.
Yeah, come on, baby, you're with me.
There's Messiah now. Yeah.
Well, that's what... You can play in the background, Father. I'm sorry.
Please
1985 on this day. This is a good song.
No.
What, you don't like that song?
It was a groundbreaking video, but the song was...
Well, what was it? I never saw the video.
It was basically a drawing.
Yeah, it was like it would go from actual
people
to
a
drawing and kind of a cartoon image.
Huh.
It was for its time, very artistic, yes.
Musical. Well, AHA went to number 1 in the singles chart with Take On Me, the first Norwegian group to hit number 1 in America. The
Squareheads.
For their song, the video for the song featured, I could have read it right here. The video for the song, such a loser. The video, for the song featured the band in a pencil sketch animation method called rotoscoping, combined with live action, which won 6 awards and was nominated for 2 others at the 1986 MTV Video Music Awards.
All right, so I'm going to put this up here for you to look at right now. That's what it was. See, it was
a pencil drawing. Oh, the good drawing. No, good artist, too. Oh, I like it. And with the music behind it, was that a Nazi helmet?
No, it was a racing helmet.
Aha!
Jeez,
that's why they had AHA.
That's why it's called AHA.
Well, that's very interesting.
And see, after a while, he turned into...
Oh, now it's a boy. It's a woman, a girl.
Yeah.
Oh, with her Norwegian haircut.
Yeah.
Oh, my. Easy.
Yeah.
Birthdays include artist Peter Max. You know who that is? You probably know who that is.
Of course.
Peter Max.
Yellow Submarine.
Famous artist. 87 years old today.
I met him. He's a very nice man.
I'll be nice man.
He's still doing art. He travels around to certain places. There's a place at Phipps Plaza called Wentworth Gallery that he had a deal with that he was selling stuff. Yeah.
I'll be darned. Excellent. I've only met a couple of famous artists. Who's the famous American artist? There's 2 of them. Jamie and somebody else. You'd know the name. It does New England landscapings and paintings. They're very famous.
You know who I saw last night when I was flicking around?
No.
Bob Ross. I sat and watched Bob Ross for a while.
I used to love that show, that 30-minute paint fight. Just here, you make the trees.
There's no mistakes.
You take the little brush and go click, 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 and there's your branches and your leaves.
There's no such thing as a mistake.
It's unbelievable. Anyway, by the way, I'm not sure who. Did you look it up, Flounder? Or did somebody tell you the movie that I was talking about with John Lithgow and the Denzel Washington?
We had a caller call in.
Excellent. Well, thank you, caller. And the movie's the title was Ricochet. And I'm sure I butchered the plot, but there was some kind of there was somebody, I think Denzel Washington was wrongly accused of something, and then he was, I don't know, it's a pretty good, I liked it. I liked the movie, just for the record. And one thing on history here I forgot to mention also, too. Here we go. In 1781, huge day in American history. It was basically over. Imagine the exultation and the relief on this day. British scumbag General Charles Lord Cornwallis surrendered to General George Washington at Yorktown, Virginia, the last major battle of the Revolutionary War.
You know, they never tell you that would probably sink most careers. He lost the American colonies, but he later went on to India and became a hero again.
Really?
In India.
He was he the monster who used to burn people in churches and stuff?
That was the guy. You're thinking about the Patriot. You're thinking about Bill Gibson.
But that was real, though. That was real stuff.
Well, I don't think he was doing it on purpose.
Yeah, he did. He had his men do it.
He did it.
Dirty lying bastard.
You know what else is this day, October 19th?
I do indeed.
Not 1, but 2 gay days today.
Oh, wait a minute.
Not 1, but 2. It's International Pronoun Day and it's Spirit Day.
What do they talk about?
Spirit Day.
What the hell is that?
Support for LGBTQ plus youths.
What's a ute?
A ute.
Yeah.
So
wait a minute.
So if you think this thing has gotten out of hand, check this out.
Don't we already have a whole month?
A whole let me start here. From the rest of the year, from October 23rd to the 29th, that whole week is Asexual Awareness Week. October 26th.
I really don't want to be aware of your asexuality. You know what I'm saying?
Intersex Awareness Day. Don't know what that is.
Now, wait a minute. Intersex.
Intersex means sex with other things.
I think not necessarily human. I think it's having sex with like furniture
really?
inside.
That's That's everything. You have sex
how
with
are we
everything.
supposed to keep track of all
Well,
of this?
I'll tell you how. The entire month of November is Trans Awareness Month. Okay.
We're not aware of trannies now?
No. November 5th.
Oh, my God.
Transparent Day. Get it? Transparent.
You're a parent of
transparent.
trannies. The parents of trannies. Oh.
November 8th, Intersex Day of Remembrance. In case you didn't remember it the first time. I don't know the dead ones.
And again, what's intersex? I think it's with furniture. I swear to God. I think it's like
intersex is having sex in the car on the highway, the interstate.
Frying pans.
November 13th through 19th, Transgender Awareness Week. November 20th, Transgender Day of Remembrance. So they want you to remember what you just went over.
Bags of flour.
All right, February 19th through 25th, Aromantic Spectrum Awareness Week.
What the hell is that?
I have no idea.
Aromantic?
Aromantic.
A-E-R-O? Or
yeah, there's an M in there instead of aromatic. It's aromatic. March 21st through 25th, LGBTQIA plus Health Awareness Week.
Wearing blenders.
March 31st, Transgender Day of Visibility. See, when they're transparent and you can't see them, you make up for it on the Day of Visibility.
Vacuum cleaners.
April 6th, International Asexuality Day. I'm not making these up.
But how could you possibly be celebrating that you're asexual?
April 13th, International Day of Pink, which is the day opposing homophobia. April 14th, Day of Silence.
You can't possibly
Day of Silence.
Recognize.
April 26th, Lesbian Visibility Day.
Yeah, let's see it, baby.
There's one.
There's one now.
All right. Okay. I'm only halfway through.
Oh, my God. Can't wait. 4 o'clock with Kipper, Pete, and Flounder, you gay people. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Dun, 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 dun. Look out, it's only me. It's only the Kibber 403 with Pete Davis and Flounder at AC/DC. This was the day in 1980. AC/DC kicked off a 20-date British tour at Bristol Colston Hall. You can go ahead. Yeah, sure. Wow. Man, they were they the leader, beginning, start of the heavy metal type screaming band?
No, Deep Purple and those Blue Oyster Cult were probably the beginning of that.
I don't see. I have no. This is 1980, and they kicked off their tour. This was the first gig, and the first series of gigs they did since the death of their singer Bon Scott. I've never heard of him either, but anyway. But they were who? So is Deep Purple and who'd you say?
Blue Oyster Cult. They were from the 60s and early 70s.
Well,
so
anyway, I missed all that. Quick birthday. Remember the movie French Connection?
Oh,
the actor Tony Lobianco. 87 years old, famous Italian. He's played a gangbanger in a lot of different shows. You've seen, if you don't know the name, you know the face. And on this day in 1982, John DeLorean was arrested in Los Angeles and outside the airport with a suitcase containing $24 million in cocaine. He was trying to salvage his bankrupt sports car company, the DeLorean, which is the car used in Back to the Future. And actually, when it first came in, the very idea of it, was it Chrysler or Ford or Chrysler that fired him? That he quit because he was very
Ford, I think.
I think it was Ford, and he was I don't think
him and Iacocca were banging heads or something.
I think it was Iacocca or Ford, then went to Chrysler. But anyway, in that area. And so he said, I'll do my own damn company. When the DeLorean came out, it was all like aluminum finish and
stainless
steel, and had wing doors and stuff like that. But it had like a crap motor, and it was really a terrible piece of crap car. And he couldn't get the money to try to fix it. So they set the sting that was the FBI set him up. Yeah. And said, hey, I can help you out. Really? How's that? Well, you just do this for me, and I'll do that for you. Okay, really good. Boom, and they arrested him, and he was found innocent. There was complete setup.
That was a big crime in America. The FBI was all over it, weren't they?
Yeah, they sure were. All right, There you go.
Good job, guys.
Yeah, nice going. 405. By the way, we have all the news. We have the latest. They're going to do the speaker vote again today, apparently, the third vote of the speaker. Also, U.S. warships in the near Yemen today intercepted some missiles that were fired near.
Supposedly drones and missiles are going to head to Israel, and we shot them down.
And we shot them down before they got there, so that's good. Now, again, it was not, as far as we know, it was not an attack on American warships. Just we saw them were there, and that's why they're there, so they can shoot. Okay, well, that's good. That's what we should be doing. Now, and by the way, we'll also talk about the Donald Trump thing, and the hostage families are ticked off. By the way, whatever happened to them? I mean, it's like they're an afterthought.
Where are the hostages?
Yeah. Well, what are we going to do about that? Wait to hear the people still getting in trouble for reacting to their comments about Hamas being such heroes and victims, and now they're in big trouble, and that's freaking good. Also, a well-known actor in the Rocky series passed away. We'll get to all those things too. But first, let's finish. I can't believe Pete said, this is actually two. Today is 2 special gay days. And I'm saying, no, wait a minute. I thought we had a whole month and that was a ball game. Pride Month.
No, there's more than this in any other group.
How could there be? And now you've listed how many so far? You must have rattled off 15 of them.
I've lost count of it.
How many gay? I mean, it's all. It's
just about every month, basically, except January.
So somebody comes up with a group, and it's like today. I mean, what's you got another
today
one.
Is International Pronoun Day and Spirit Day. Support for LGBT youths.
Spirit? So
show your spirit. Even in high school, I have no idea what you mean. Everybody show your spirit. What does that mean?
I
have no idea what that meant. Never did.
Well, we're spiriting for you.
So April 26th was Lesbian Visibility Day, so go find one.
I'm here.
I see
Does that mean
you.
they're supposed to say I'm a lesbian?
I don't know.
I think it means they should be visible to be proud that I'm a lesbian walking down the street. I'm a lesbian.
Let's see. May 17th is International Day Against Homophobia, Biphobia, and Transphobia.
All three. It's a trifecta.
May 19th is Agender Pride Day.
Is what? Asian?
A gender. A gender.
A gender?
A gender. What does that mean?
Gender?
A gender.
No gender?
No
Like
gender.
asexual?
I guess that means, you don't care about your gender.
So, oh my God, you're a block of furniture.
Yes. By the way, not only did Huckabee, the governor of Arkansas, kick the Chinese out, so they have to sell the land back to Arkansans, she has also signed a law that says if you do business in there with the state of Arkansas, you have to use gender names. You have to say Mr. or Mrs. or man or woman.
Oh, good for her.
I love that woman. May 22nd is Harvey Milk Day.
Oh, from San Francisco, the supervisor.
Sean Penn played him in the movie.
Gay guy shot down.
May 25th is Pansexual and Pan Romantic Awareness Day.
So people who have sex with cooking utensils are somehow celebrated on this?
No, that's half men, half deer.
Pan. Is that what is that an animal? Is that
pansexual means you have sex with anything.
Oh my God! So they're like furniture,
like panophobia, isn't that your fear of everything?
Rocking chairs, smooth ride.
The woman married a chandelier.
Watch out for the chested drawers, though. That could hurt on you if you're not careful with it.
For most of my life, I thought it was Chester drawers.
Slam! Oh wow, easy.
It was named after somebody named Chester.
Chester drawers, right there.
I didn't know it was chest of
Here's
drawers.
the news. Good evening, Chester drawers reporting.
Well, what is pan romantic?
I don't know. I don't know what that is.
June. The entire month of June is Pride Month.
Oh, well.
June 23rd is Stonewall Day. June 28th is International LGBT Day. July 14th is International Non-Binary People Day.
You can't say people anymore.
Well, that's an oxymoron, isn't it? I'm kidding. July 16th, International Drag Day.
Oh, my God.
September 16th through 23rd is Bisexual Awareness Week. September 23rd is Celebrate Bisexuality Day. The entire month of October is LGBT History Month, including, we missed this, oh, damn it,
what?
October 8th, International Lesbian Day. October 11th was National Coming Out Day.
I wanted to be with an international lesbian.
International one? Not just one of these local
In
broads.
fact, I want to make out with a lesbian now.
All right, bring one in. October 11th, National Coming Out Day. October 17th through 24th, which is we're in the middle of.
We're right now, 24th. That's when Britney Spears' book is coming out.
Is Gender Fluid Visibility Week.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
I don't know what that means either. I mean, I don't know what that means.
What does visibility mean?
I think you're supposed to acknowledge I'm here. Come and look at me.
Well, visibility means what you can see in front of you.
But never mind.
That's not important right now.
Oh, God bless it.
Did that hurt?
Oh,
it
God,
sure
that
sounded
hurt.
like it hurt.
Oh, I smashed.
Do it again.
Yeah, let me try it with the other finger. Oh my God. Oh,
that's a good idea. Try the other finger.
I smashed it between the.
You got to even it out.
Oh,
it's going to hurt the rest of the day unless you even it out. Do the other hand.
A lot. I'm blabbering. A point about all these special things, and again, we're going to talk. It's 4:11 already. And we're going to talk some more about some of the reactions to people who are claiming that the Palestinians and Hamas were victims, and that Israelis deserve what they got. You know, the whole the protests going all over America, all over college campuses, all over the world, all this kind of stuff. Can you think of any college campus or business community campus in America that would allow protesters or members of their community, people who work for them, or college campus members who work there, or students and so forth, would allow them to have the same kind of rallies and the same kind of vernacular against anybody other than Jews? Could they do this against Asians?
Nope.
Could they do this against black people?
White people, they could.
Yeah.
Christians, they could.
But can they do it? But again, any other can they do it against anybody else? How are they getting away with doing this and then thinking, that they should be able to be exempt as freedom of speech? If you're calling for the extinction of an entire race of people, you couldn't do that against blacks. You couldn't do it against the Irish. You couldn't do it. I mean, you couldn't do it anywhere except the Jews. It would be immediately shut down. The country would be appalled. How is it possible that America in general, en masse, the 90% of America that's not doing this, or maybe it's a lot less than that. I guess maybe I'm way off. How come they're not outraged, saying that you're, what are you, nuts? You can't call for that.
You know what the Jewish population is worldwide?
No, I don't.
0.2.
Well,
it's either 0.2 or 0.02. So here's the question. Why do so many people around the world hate
what did they
Jewish
do?
people?
Where did this start? This isn't killing Jesus. Is this that whole ridiculous killing Jesus business?
No, it's because a lot of them are very successful. Are they jealous?
Well, but that...
Let's face it.
That can't be the reason.
Think of all the tribes throughout history: Edomites, Moabites, Philistines, all those people that disappeared from history. Complete tribes of people, races of people disappeared. The Jewish people have been around for thousands of years and are still here.
Yeah. But so why hate them if they're here? I mean, what's the point? It's not like they put the frogs on the king of Egypt there.
They did.
When they had the fire and the frogs and the diseases and killed the firstborn. Now, God did that. Jews didn't do that.
On behalf of them, though.
Well, yeah, but it's God's not, I mean.
If anyone should have a beef, it's the Egyptians.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I think they'd be really pissed off. I mean, that whole plague thing, jeez. They weren't too happy with that part of that whole sea business either,
Moses.
4:13 with a giver pig flower.
So it is written. So it shall be done.
Religious history lesson. Yeah, where's she got now, Moses? Yeah. How's it going? 418 with the Kim Repeat and Flounder and Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. 1979, their third album, Damn the Torpedoes, came out on this day. Don't do me like that. Damn the Torpedoes. Critical acclaim, commercial success, and it reached number 2 on the Billboard album chart. It only was stopped from being number 1 by Pink Floyd's The Wall. The album Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Damn the Torpedoes, featured 2 hit singles, Don't Do Me Like That, made it number 10 in America, and Refugee made it to number 15. And in 1979, they released it. Quick birthday. Whoops-a-daisy, where did I get my birthday? Here we go. I can't find it anymore. Here we go. Chris Kattan is 53, former SNL cast member, Corky Romano. I never thought he was fine. No, everybody else thought he was great. I thought he was then that little monkey boy. Whatever
I don't think everybody thought he was great.
God, he was just looked like an idiot. Jumped around in his underpants or something on the set.
He had a moment or two.
Oh God. Anyway, whatever. He's got money and I don't, so I guess I should be celebrating his life. 53 years old. Good for you, Chris. And on this day, in 1944, the United States Navy. Pete was married with a Navy woman, if I remember correctly. Is that correct?
And what's the point of bringing that up?
In 1944, the United States...
wasn't around in 1944.
I'm not accusing you of
hell?
anything. Well, I'm about to get to it, and I was tripping you. And also, Tug, our morning guy, is a Navy man, and we have our Veterans Golf Tournament coming up on Monday, November 6th.
We do?
And so, the link is this. 1944, on this very day, the U.S. Navy announced that black women will now be allowed to serve as women accepted for volunteer emergency services, or WAVES. The Navy WAVES were the women in the WAVES, and the Sailor Girl WAVES, Navy WAVE girls. And the joke used to be join the Navy to join the Navy to ride the which was bad. And by the way, when I was at Camp Pendleton before going to a certain place, well, this is a kind of a link. You know the dating game.
Yeah.
You know the host Jim Lang?
Yeah.
Jim Lang was a Marine. And Jim Lang was doing a thing, and I happened to see it, his little presentation, and he was making a joke coming back to Camp Pendleton where he had served years before. This was like 1966, by the way, or 7 maybe, 1977 probably. Anyway, he came back and he was doing a thing, and he made the mistake of mentioning the women Marines, and he called them BAMs. BAM stands for Broad-Ass Marine. If you ever, and that was what Marines secretly would refer to women Marines as if they wanted to be nice. But I will tell you this, 1967 at the NCO Club at Camp Pendleton, one guy sitting on the bar stool made the mistake of making a joke about BAMs, and the female woman Marine bartender hit him so hard, she not only knocked him out, she made him do a backflip off the bar stool. You do not call women Marines BAMs unless you're ready to go bye-bye for a while.
Like Blondie at the...
Oh, man. She hit him so hard, I thought she killed him.
Good Lord.
Anyway, 422 with the Kim Repeat and Flounder. And by the way, our golf tournament, go to our golf tournament. You go to 680thefan.com or... extra1063.com and sign up to play golf with us on November 6th, Dogwood Golf Club. We're all going to be there playing golf, having fun. There'll be drinks and booze and things and stuff and everything. So it'll be a lot of fun. And you should play with us. It'll be a lot of fun. We're not doing the show that day, so we'll be...
How do you know that?
Because I'm not going to be doing the show that day. They already warned him. Said, no, you don't want Kimmer to do a show after being in the golf tournament.
You know a lot more about this than I do.
Yeah, you don't have anything to do with it. Anyway, it's 422 with the Kim Repeat and Flounder. Sad passing along news of Burt Young, the famous Rocky actor, among other things. Burt Young has died at the age of 83. He was brother-in-law Paulie in the Rocky series. In fact, he was in 6 of the Rocky movies. Cause of death, I love this. Cause of death not immediately known. He was 83. Chances are he died because he was 83. well, was it heart disease? Well, they're all, it's stopping living disease. Give me a break. 83. It's like he did something wrong. Although, I was saying to Pete, I hate when I do this to people, and I hate when I think of it myself. Remember what I said? I got you doing it now too. I said it's like I'm like 5 more summers away from dying at 83. So I got 5 more summers to look forward to.
I said, have another piece of birthday cake this year. I mean, you never know.
How many you got left? How many summers? How many birthdays parties do you think you'll have
Enjoy
left?
Halloween.
Yeah. How old are you now, sir, ma'am? How many Christmases you got left? You think? I mean, if you look at it that way, it's horrible. It's an absolute disaster. Anyway, you remember Burt Young, the actor from Rocky? Flounder.
Enjoy this autumn.
Yeah.
I know sometimes I act stupid and I say stupid things, but you kept me around, and other people would have said, drop that bum. You give me respect. It's hard for me to say these kind of things because that ain't my way. But if I could just unzip myself and step out and be someone else, I want to be you. You're real hot, Rock. Thanks, boy. Now bless this guy's teeth out.
That's from Rocky IV when he was about to go out and fight Ivan Drago.
Outstanding. Yeah. Burt Young, Rocky actor, dead at 83.
Burt Young fought Ivan Drago?
No, I don't think so. And Ivan Drago, again, has the PhD in physics or astrophysics.
Chemicals
or
something.
Yeah, something or other. From, he was a Rhodes Scholar and all kinds of weird things.
Smart man.
Anyway, Burt Young had 160 credits to his name. He worked alongside Jack Nicholson in Chinatown. Rodney Dangerfield, he was his chauffeur in Back to School. He worked with a fellow Queens native and his buddy James Caan in Cinderella Liberty, The Gambler, The Killer Elite, Harry and Walter go to... remind me about the movie. Somebody called in. Did I mention the name? I think I did mention the name. Ricochet?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Whew. This whole short-term memory thing, it kind of comes and goes. Anyway, Burt Young also was in Mickey Blue Eyes.
Enjoy Halloween.
Thank you. And for the record, Burt Young served a tour of duty in the United States Marines. He was an avid boxer.
Who wasn't a Marine?
And now that he has passed away, Burt Young is going to be guarding Heaven's Gate.
That's what we hear.
And that's the only thing that's going to keep me from going to hell. Because I know that I'm going to get up there and they're going to say, you're the one with that whole thing you did. I said, wait a minute, I was a Marine. He said, all right.
No.
We'll let you in to guard the gate, but it's going to be every holiday and all weekend.
You're not. You know exactly why you're going to hell.
Yeah, I do.
Why do you think it is?
Well, why do you think?
Possum.
No, see, you bastard. I'm not going to sleep tonight. Oh, God. It's true. It's absolutely
was
true.
This his fault?
I'm going to go to hell. Well, then he shouldn't have been playing possum.
He should have been playing dead.
Oh God! I can't. I toast.
They eat like baby rattlesnakes.
I know they're good for people. They're good to have. I know it's not.
Fleas.
It's not a good thing. It's not a good.
You shouldn't kill possums.
426 thought I was saving him. It was my dog.
Put him out of his misery.
My bull mastiff had him in his mouth.
My dog had one in his mouth. He picked him off the back shelf of the deck like he was picking up a loaf of bread at Kroger.
He was just walking around with him.
Yeah, he's like, said, "Hey, look what I got."
Yeah, I thought he was dead.
Put that down.
Yeah, drop that, please. Anyway, oh my God. All right, a couple of newsy things. In fact, Pete's going to tell a story about this young woman at a bank, a dentist in Florida. By the way, his name is Ahmed El Kousa, a 31-year-old dentist. He used to work for a company called GC Smile. Not anymore. He apparently got fired after he's caught on camera, one of the two guys, ripping down the posters of Israeli children who were kidnapped during the Hamas terrorist attack. And he was ripping down and crumpling up the photos of children hostages in his Brickell neighborhood in Miami. And somebody said, hey, I know that guy. He's my freaking dentist. So he called the dentist company. He said, whoops-a-daisy, we condemn this. It's horrible. We want nothing to do with it.
In Miami, of all places.
Yeah, anti-Jewish action in Miami.
Please do that around me. Please let me see you doing that around me.
Dear God.
And what kills me is these people have come to this country and think they are so safe, that they're so untouchable, and feel so safe that they can do something that heinous. and laugh about it.
Yeah. And the young woman was in Citibank?
Citibank.
And describe her.
Beautiful young woman, 25, 26 years old, out of some New York school or something like that. And she basically says, well, now we know why Hitler wanted to kill him. And thinking she's immune, that no one's going to touch me. I'm perfect.
Worked for Citibank.
Citibank. Out.
I'm telling you, I'll use my old Kemmer cliche again. This is the iPhone. This is the cell phone. These people think that they have an obligation to react. You would think that most people would say, oh, my God, that's so horrible. But, until 6 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, no one would have thought to start calling everybody and say, boy, I want to tell you my opinion about this. I mean, think about it. If there were no iPhone, nobody is going to go to their phone and dial click, 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 click. I mean, you wouldn't be calling all your neighbors to tell them what you think.
You'd be writing strongly worded letters to the editor.
No, you wouldn't. You might. I mean, 1 out of 9 million percentages would a letter to the editor, but that was it. You weren't going to send telegrams to your friends. You weren't going to call all your friends. This is all the cell phone. The cell phone is yesterday's cigarettes. The cell phone makes you think you are owed, that you are demanding that someone wants to know what you think.
And because of that, she's now the lead story on the London Daily Mail, which means the entire world knows her face.
There you are. Well, you got what's coming to you, baby. I mean, but again, it's because of the cell phone. She thought she had better react to this on her phone. Posting stuff on your phone. It's not, they don't go dial the phone and call somebody. Posting it on your phone is yesterday's cigarettes, and here we go. It's coming around. I mean, it's amazing. They think that they are obligated to speak up.
Well, it's like Neil Bort says, FAFO.
Yeah. Well, they'll find out. The bad part, the second part of that. And then Jewish parents are upset about why am I stuttering a lot here? We're also late for a break. Well, we'll talk about the Jewish parents in the Atlanta public schools and what they've done. And wait till you hear some of the names of the 2,000 actors claiming that Israel is committing war crimes. 2,000 actors and musicians.
Paid liars.
You know a bunch of them. Yeah. 4:30 can repeat louder. All right, hold on. Here we got it. It's Ethel Merman here. Oh man, I'm sorry. That's just
This is
horrible.
a bad version.
This is horrible.
Well, when Kimmer starts to read Bowie information, there's a reason I put this on here.
1973. I'm sorry, Flounders. Flounders are a little upset with the Kimmer today, I think. I don't know
not at all.
1973, David Bowie released his 7th album, Pin Ups. The album, which features supermodel Twiggy on the front cover, is a collection of cover versions of some of the singer's favorite song. A collection of cover versions of some of the singer's favorite songs, including tracks by Pink Floyd, The Pretty Things, The Who, The Yardbirds, and The Kinks. So it's cover versions. That's what it was. So that's
this is the Yardbirds.
And this is the Yardbirds. Aha. Well, that explains everything. Birthday list includes, now I hear with Jon Favreau. He's 57. He's the Mandalorian creator. You know him as Happy Hogan in the Iron Man and other MCU movies. What's MCU?
Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Of course, MCU, Marvel movies. If they just said Marvel movies, I'd have known. He directed the first 2 Iron Man films, plus Elf. He directed Elf? Cool.
Yes.
Cowboys and Aliens and The Jungle Book and The Lion King remakes, Jon Favreau. And he was in The Sopranos a couple episodes, too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I remember him in there.
He's talented.
Yeah.
Cowboys and Aliens is an underrated movie, I thought. It should have gotten more. Daniel Craig and Harrison Ford.
And what was the plot of that one? Was it really aliens?
Set in the 1800s, and the aliens land in the Wild Wild West.
And was like spaceships and stuff? Or was it real, was it good fake video? What do you call it? Special
CGI?
effects?
Yeah, it was.
Really?
I thought it was interesting.
And did the Cowboys try to fight the aliens and with guns
with
or
Indians.
bows and arrows?
They got together with the Indians. Harrison Ford was this old cranky white guy, ranch owner who hated Indians, but had raised one. And so they pretty much joined with the Indians to go against the aliens.
And the aliens go back to their spaceship and go. You can.
I'm not going to tell you the end.
I'm never going to watch it, and nobody else. All right, everybody listening
You'll
right
watch
now.
it. It's a good movie.
So I'm going to have to freaking Google when I go home. I'm going to have to Google the ending because you won't tell me the ending of Spaceships and Aliens.
I can't remember how.
Cowboys.
I'm sure they won at the end, but I don't remember exactly how they did it.
Fine, I'll go home.
And
do it
that
myself.
hottie, back when she was hot, Olivia Wilde is in it.
Yeah. Oh, Olivia Wilde. I think there was a time or two. Let's see. 1814 on this day. I mentioned earlier in 1781, basically the Revolutionary War ended on the major battle of the Revolutionary War at Yorktown. And that was 1781. Yeah. Okay. And then 1814, during the War of 1812, of course, Fort McHenry. I did take a step over the boundary. 1814 on this day.
No, I'm doing the song.
Leave me alone.
1814, we took a little trip
to battle all the things down the mighty Mississippi.
That's close.
I foped down the crocodile, plugged me behind, and powdered his behind. And when they blew the blade
we touched the gator off, the gator
lost
blew
his mind. Whoa, the 18. Yeah, there you go. We took a little. Yeah, there you go. They fired one round and one. The British kept it coming. They fired another round and one. They found a band to do. They fired third round and the British kept coming. All right. I need to say in 1814 in Baltimore, the audience at the Holiday Street Fair for the first time ever heard a rendition of a song called The Defense of Fort McHenry, later to be named our national anthem.
Johnny Horton, and then later Nitty Gritty Dirt Band did the best versions of Battle of New Orleans.
Johnny Horton is the original, therefore he's the best. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm not going to argue with you.
All right.
Sing to Bismarck.
I sing to Bismarck. North song. To Alaska.
Yeah. North.
Another one.
To Alaska.
That's right. All great song.
Bad movie, by the way. John Wayne and
those
Fabian.
all movies. Yeah, but you put Fabian in a movie.
And Capuchin.
You know how Fabian became a star? He was sitting on his one of his little Philadelphia tiny little houses right next to each other, whatever they call those strip homes, their famous name for
row houses.
Row houses in Philadelphia. And a music producer was walking by and said, loved his haircut and his looks and said, "Hey, kid, you want to be a star?" And he said, "Sure." I mean, he can't sing. But he was in all the movies and stuff. Now, Annette Funicello and the other guy, what's the other guy you used to work with? Not Fabian, but the other one.
Frankie Avalon.
Frankie Avalon could sing.
Yeah.
Anyway, by the way, we mentioned all the business going on with Hamas and Israel and protests and stuff like that. Apparently, the doomsday prepping is going mainstream. And I got a story here that a group called Finder did a survey and found out that the number of people buying doomsday preparations to get ready for something bad happening has gone up by more than 20%.
Smart.
And the people going up, those who are buying essentials, seeing it's going to, because of the world's going to, it's like 30%. They have kits that start ultra advanced kits, stuff like that, to get ready for a 3-day supply of food. And it reminded me that the Rhino, one of his sponsors on the morning show, is True Prep, which is a Marietta company, True TRU Prep, and they sell this stuff, preparedness, emergency gear, food and things and stuff and all kinds of
Someone
stuff.
asked me if I was going to get one. I said, I already got one. It's where I live.
Yeah, you're out in the middle of nowhere. But some of these kits have military-grade 3-day supply of food and water, a 5-year shelf life. And there's several different brands of various things. Anyway, and it's going crazy, the sales in these things. So anyway, just
a great meme that's out is Joe Biden on the plane.
Yeah.
And it's got the crazy hot lady from a few months ago.
The nutball. There's a Martian.
There's a non-human back there.
She's pointing at him. I love it. Some of the more reactions going on. Some Jewish parents are critical of the Atlanta public school system's lack of strong response. A couple days after they heard some complaints, the Atlanta Public Schools, APS, said, we're heartbroken by violence facing children and families in the Middle East, hopeful for a peaceful resolution of these complex geopolitical issues that will allow children in this part of the world to learn and grow in safety. How about condemning Hamas? Oh, they wouldn't do that. 100 parents signed a letter saying, excuse me, Superintendent, the interim superintendent's a girl named Danielle Battle. We are heartbroken, disappointed, and insulted by the statement, and we want you to put out another one. Reiterating that there's no place in Atlanta public schools for hate. Like the Hamas people, ignoring the pain Jewish students may be feeling right now. And not only the pain, how about the threats? And Atlanta public schools aren't afraid to do anything. They're saying there's a fear in the community. Let's, come on. How about a little something for the effort, And then you've got, this is amazing. There's actually a letter signed by more than 2,000 actors, artists, musicians, including Tilda Swinton, Steve Coogan, and Outlander star Sam Hugan, I think it's pronounced. An open letter for artists for Palestine.
Steve Coogan is brilliant, but he is a complete liberal idiot.
Charles Dance was on Game of Thrones. Miriam Margolyes, Professor Sprout in Harry Potter movies. These people said the decision by Israel to cut off food, water, and fuel to the region is war crimes. It's war crimes.
All right. These are paid liars.
Oh, my God.
They have one talent. They memorize what a smarter person has written, and they emote it in front of a camera or an audience, which is a talent.
Yeah,
most people can't do it.
But it's someone else's effort.
But they're paid liars. Yeah. Why do you pay attention to anything they say?
They're fakes. They don't make a living.
Look at those stupid commercials they do. I'm a doctor. I'm a lawyer. But you're not. You're an actor. Yeah. You're a liar.
Yeah. By the way, the letter makes no mention of Hamas terrorists murdering 1,400 people, burning and beheading terrorists, looking deliberately to elementary schools and youth centers to kill as many people as possible, and during the Blitzkrieg and again. So, once again, but Tilda Swinton.
There's no moral equivalency. This is good versus evil. The Israelis are not perfect, but they're the good. They're the civilized against the barbarians. Pick a side.
It's just unbelievable.
You know, it's a great thing. We have clarity. We know who the idiots and the communists and the Marxists and the barbarians are, and we know who the civilized people are.
Again, one of the old cliches has come true. It's been years and years, and now this has become true again. When somebody tells you who they are, believe them. Right, that's so old. Nobody even heard of it for 20 years. All of a sudden, now it's perfect. If somebody tells you who they are, you're looking at the letter, believe them.
If a crazed German veteran from World War I writes a manifesto in which he says he's going to kill all the Jews, believe him. Yeah. Oh my, what did I forgot something. Oh, it's 4:45 already. What did I forget?
My ex-wife tried to save the marriage. She did. I came home one day. She was stark naked. She said, tie me up and you can do anything you want. So I tied her up and I went to play golf. I said to her one time, what would you do if I won the lottery? She said, I'd take half and I'd leave you. I said, I won $12. Here's 6. Stay in touch.
Very good to see you. Here's your stuff. If that was, do we know who that was?
Tom Dreesen?
Yep.
Was that Dreesen?
Tom Dreesen.
That was Tom
Dreesen.
He opened for Sinatra for years.
Oh, God. He was the guy in Vegas.
Well, one of them.
And Hollywood, absolutely. Oh, no, he did all that stuff with all those. He was the Rat Pack hanger-ounder guy, comedian guy. 446 for the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And coming up, the love story continues with Travis and Swelsey. 106.3. Look out. I always thought this was kind of a silly song. I don't know. It's kind of... This seems more of a 70s song than 1968. This is Cream. Da, da, da. There's a whole tie-dye crowd there. I was not around in 1968, but on their farewell tour, Cream was at the Forum in Los Angeles, California, where live recordings were made, which were included on the Goodbye Cream album, which was released the following year from 1968. All right, there's Cream. A little something there for you. Birthday of note, boom, Trey Parker, 54. Trey Parker is the co-creator of South Park, and it says here conquered Broadway with the Book of Mormon. I don't remember that. I remember
it was playing in London when I was over there. I will never. Okay, it's easy to pick on the Mormons. Try the Muslims next time.
Was that what it was? Was that what it was? It was
totally making fun of the Muslims.
Really? Was it a musical or a comedy musical?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Totally. Easy pickings, man. That's low hanging fruit.
Sure. What are they going to do about it?
Yep.
And on this day in 1968, Vice President Spiro Agnew refers to Vietnam War protesters as an effete corps of impudent snobs. He's also famous for the nattering nabobs of negativism, if I remember correctly, Spiro, before he got caught being a crook and had to resign. Anyway, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, how's it going? 10 before 5, 4:50. We have Pete came across a list of the best and worst food chains, burger
Yes, sir.
chains, Mexican chains, Chinese food chains, stuff like that. So we did burgers. They said, "Did you burger? What'd you do last time? You didn't do
Donuts.
Donuts, and Krispy Kreme was number one in the country, and last it was Dunkin' Donuts, which I find hard to believe. I like a lot of their donuts. I'm sorry, I do.
CashNet USA has used Google Maps to figure this out.
How many
I
people
don't know
buy
how.
stuff? Well, how many people go to the stores and buy the stuff? I guess.
What do you think is the favorite fast food chain in America?
Favorite of all fast food chains? Wow. I think I know the answer, so it wouldn't be fair.
Go ahead and say it.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A. You know, someone put out a survey last week that said Chick-fil-A is the worst drive-through service.
Please.
Like, are you out of your mind?
They take care of
They
you.
redesigned their entire process when COVID happened to service the customer.
Right.
It's 3 lanes. The one on Windy Hill is 3 lanes.
Yeah, that's hardly a problem with Chick-fil-A.
The problem is people getting into the drive-through. It causes traffic on that.
Yeah.
That's the only issue with Chick-fil-A.
It's too popular.
The one right down the street down here on
because it's a
horrible.
short turn that goes right into the drive-through.
Okay, the worst fast food joint according to them is Papa John's.
I find that hard to
Back in the 90s when they first hit here, it was amazing.
Their pizza's really doughy.
It has really gone down.
It's an easy. I mean, they're always fast, and I mean, it's not terrible, but it's nothing spectacular by any means.
But
I like Pizza Hut. I've always liked Pizza Hut.
I would think if you'd had a complaint about pizza, would be if the tomato sauce on it is bad or didn't have a good flavor to it.
The problem is
the dough is dough pretty much.
Red Baron's the same. It's too much dough. There's not enough stuff.
Yeah.
Not enough stuff.
That's another issue too. But anyway.
So burger chains.
Burger chain, best and worst.
Who's the Flounder? What do you think is the favorite burger joint in America?
We're talking
I'm gonna
fast
go Wendy's.
food.
Wendy's.
I think I know the answer to this. I saw the list.
It's Five Guys.
Yeah.
They consider that a fast food?
Yes. Well, it's not really fast. You do wait.
Yeah,
when you
but
go
with that, there's no drive-through.
That's true.
So
but it's good.
I think you should have a drive-through to be considered fast food.
The last time I was in one up in Canton, Dansby Swanson was standing there. Nobody knew who he was.
Yeah.
And we all left him alone.
And I've never been to Five Guys. Everybody says it's great.
You need to go. You'll wait a little bit.
There's one right across the street from where you live on North Point Parkway.
With me?
There's one right on North Point Parkway.
Oh, I did not know that. I'm going to go there tonight.
Do it. It's good.
And what's the one that's very famous in California?
In-N-Out Burger.
In-N-Out Burger.
It's okay. I've been to.
They said those are the best. Like Phil Mickelson's
Yeah, In-N-Out. Arizona, Utah, Colorado, Oregon, Nevada, and California. It's good.
In-N-Out Burger.
I like that one that just opened up here. What's it called?
Never been there either.
What's the one that from Texas? Whataburger.
Oh,
I like that
Whataburger.
one.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
I haven't been there either.
It was like a very good Sonic. It was like a better Sonic.
I don't
Let's
go
put it this way.
anywhere.
But the worst in almost every state, including Georgia, is McDonald's, according to this.
That's amazing.
The McDonald's up here in Windy Hill, I thought was surprisingly efficient, and the cheeseburger is very good.
I haven't been. I used to steadily go because of schedule thing. I would frequently go through a McDonald's drive-in and get the same thing, and it was hot and juicy and tasty, and loved it.
The food does the same thing when it goes through you.
But here's the weird thing: in Georgia, they say the number one burger joint in Georgia is Culver's.
Never heard of it.
Well,
Never heard of that.
North
That's the ice cream
Atlanta.
store?
There's one in Alpharetta. There's one up Alpharetta, one of those highways up there. It's like not yogurt. What's that? Custard.
Yeah. I don't.
But they supposedly have very good sandwiches. I've never been to one.
I have no idea.
So there you got that. Oh, can I say something?
Please do.
A little personal.
Yeah.
I graduated from Parkview back in '79, and we just found out, follow someone on Facebook, that our assistant principal passed away. His name was Ed Hunt. And of all the people there, I hated that school. But I wasted 2 years there. Really? But I'm telling you, one of the maybe two people that actually cared about the students, he was one of them, Ed Hunt, the assistant principal. He always wore orange overalls because, Parkview's orange. It's like Clemson. It's kind of based on Clemson. And he'd walk around talking about kicking buckets. He wasn't going to kick your butt. He's going to kick buckets. You don't make me kick buckets. I'm like, but a nice guy. And I felt really bad because one day it was raining. And there's a poor dog walked up, and the dog was sitting out in the rain. And me and my friend decided, bring that dog in. So we're walking up down the hall with the dog and everything. Everyone's laughing. I said, well, there's a good idea. We'll put him in Hunt's office.
Oh, boy.
Well, you use glass. You can see in the office. So we put him in there, we closed the door, and it locked behind us. It was like, oh, crap. But then when everyone's laughing, there's a crowd starting, and there's a dog sitting there, and it's shaking, getting water.
Yeah.
And then took a steaming dump right there on the rug.
Who didn't know that was going to happen?
And everyone's going, who did that? Who locked him in there? And we're like slowly, like the Homer Simpson backing up into the bush. That's what so I felt bad. I never confessed to him about that. Never got caught. But Ed Hunt passed away, so I just want to say one of the good guys out at Parkview for years and years and years and years.
Well, he must have been up there pretty good if he was an adult when you were there 30 years ago.
I thought everybody was old, but he was probably in his 30s,
Yeah. Well, that was, 1979? 70, so it's 50 years, so it was in the 80s.
It wasn't 50 years.
Well,
40 years.
43 years, 44 years.
That's right. You're like my mom. It's so close, it's pitiful.
Yeah.
You're 18. I'm 17. We're so close, it's pitiful.
Scott just came in, our ops manager, and he was praising Culver. Says it's better than Five Guys, and it's based out of Wisconsin. There's 16 of them here in Atlanta.
Yeah, there's one on the way from Alpharetta to Canton.
And what do they have? They have like cheese gritters there, he says.
Cheese
fritters.
Yeah, those are horrible.
But he says the burger's unbelievable.
Cheese curd thing.
Oh,
they eat up in Wisconsin.
No, that like sour milk things.
But they also have.
You actually sounded like you were from Wisconsin there. No.
Yeah, squareheads.
I sure agree with the police right there, Lou.
That's Fargo.
Yeah, I know. It's close. Just right. It's right.
Oh, yeah.
It's right next to it. It's close. Yeah.
He was a big fella.
Just kind of regular funny looking.
Think I'm gonna barf.
Just in kind of a regular way.
You okay there, Margie? Think I'm gonna barf.
How's the fricassee there, Margie?
He's fleeing the interview.
I saw it again the other night.
My God, that's a great film.
I DVR'd every time it's on in like 5 scenes.
It's the best.
I'm taking a Sierra. You got a problem with that?
It's a
here's your problem. Oh my God. 4:57 already. Holy cow. I'm stopped shaving. I'm growing. I have a little peach fuzz growing. It looks ridiculous.
No Shave November's coming up. So
is that what it is? Well, then I'm right in line with it. The problem is I have a terrible beard. I used to have a beard when I had one, and it was had some red and blonde hairs in it. I really liked it. And now you have different colors than yours.
Well,
I always wanted a white beard, and mine just doesn't come in very well.
It's not coming in fast like last year, but it's coming in thicker. It's weird.
Yeah, you have a good beard. Mine is good for parts, but down on the sides it just doesn't come in. It looks like hell. It just when you're my age and you have a part of a beard, you just look like you're dirty. It doesn't look like
the Golden Bachelor.
Well, all the hot macho man all have like the 3-day growth of whiskers now, which looks like crap, by the way. Either have the damn thing or don't. But with me, you get a certain age, it just looks like you're just kind of grubby. So we'll see how it goes.
By then, in November last year, I looked like a Confederate general. It was like,
but I noticed this morning I got a couple of white hairs, a little teeny little white fuzz there, which I'm kind of excited about it. So I hope it comes in white.
A little Dr. Strange going there.
Yeah, I hope it comes in that way. Anyway, 4:58. And speaking of TV, by the way, we don't have time to get into the whole thing. We got a minute before we're going to take a break. Tell me about Failure TV.
Fail Army. Have you seen this? I'm flicking around, and there's a whole
now, you don't
channel.
Have cable. You have like
streaming.
Some digital thing.
I have streaming.
Okay, streaming.
And I'm flicking around. So it's Fail Army. I go, Fail Army. I've heard that.
Fail Army?
Fail Army. Like you fail. Fail Army. And it's basically 24 hours a day. It's like you fall in the rabbit hole on YouTube.
Oh, I've seen that
bad
pop
videos
up on my phone, like one of those Reels things.
It's reel after reel of just people and animals. People and animals screwing up in every way possible. And you'll just sit there. Oh, this is funny for a second,
3 hours later,
and 30 minutes pass by, and you're sitting there going, your eyes are glazed over. I mean, time just disappears.
Yeah, I do it with those stupid reels with animal and the pet and the pretty girl and the big Rottweiler or something. Or there was always.
Do you have it, Founder, on yours?
No, I'll take a look at it tonight. What is it on?
I'm just streaming, and I was going through all the channels.
So is it just the basic internet channels you automatically get because you know how you can go to live TV on your streaming?
Well, you guys lost me.
Not really. Yeah.
There's a live TV to where when at the bottom is where the Hulu and all the apps are.
Oh yeah.
You can do a live TV to where it has all these internet-based channels, like it has.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Channel 2 and stuff like that.
Well, he can't find it.
I can't find it.
He'll never find it.
I have to get a 9-year-old to come over there and help me.
The only problem I'm finding with utilizing the... Whoa, we got to go to break.
Yeah, up to 5 o'clock.
We'll never know the problem he's having.
Oh, no. Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right of blank. Ready on your dog. Target. Road guards out. Look out. 5:03, and it's only me. It's the Kemmer with Pete Davis and Flounder. 106.3. Great to have you aboard. Our number is 404-741-1230. 741-1230 if you want to join us. We got the latest on everything. There's going to be another speaker vote is supposed to happen today, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen right now, and it's after 5, so we'll see. But they had made a deal with Jim Jordan, and then that fell through. He was going to step aside for this guy McHenry to work until January, and that fell through, and they're going to have another vote with things supposedly. Also, Sidney Powell, Donald Trump's one of his former main lawyers, part of the strike force of Trump lawyers concerned about the 2020 election, has now pleaded guilty with Fannie Chicken Liver, the Gangland Mall disgraced district attorney here in Fulton County. And so the thought, obviously, he's going to flip on Donald Trump and the other guys for this conspiracy business with the election stuff. So we got that big story going on for you. Also, President Stupid making an idiot out of himself again. My God, have you heard? I mean, there's one, just try watching and listening to this guy when he was on the Air Force One coming home from Israel yesterday. Holy smokes. I mean, we may play that again for you later. It's hard to hear because of the noise of being inside the plane, but it's like he's in a coma.
He stopped talking twice.
It's embarrassing. He just pauses and just goes away. And I mean, you got to wonder, he's either he can't remember, doesn't know what to say, he's afraid he's going to say, I mean, whatever it is, he's not a leader. He's not there. And again, if Donald Trump had done any of this kind of stuff,
where are the adults that show up and say, okay, this is bad for the country?
I know. I make this other point. Again, we're still trying to. Have you seen any report yet today on what's happened to the 300 people arrested in the insurrection, which is what it was, exactly what the people did January 6th, mostly peaceful Ashley Babbitt Day. They disrupted government. They damaged property. They took over. They shoved 3 police officers, assaulted 3 police officers, and I didn't know until I finally found it on the web later. There were 300 arrested. If those, and by the way, I defy you to try to find any story. I guarantee it's not going to be on the news today. Where are they? Are they in jail? Were they handcuffed in?
Here's the latest from 3 hours ago. We know that 3 of them were arrested for assault on a police officer. They will be charged, the rest of them, with illegally protesting inside a House office building. That doesn't.
But gee, not insurrection? I mean, okay. So again, they say, well, they were charged. So it's like, no big deal. Just, it's the same way they treated all those Democrat protesters for the last 3 years who were burning down the country in 2020 and 21, and the George Floyd people and the Antifa people and the Black Lives Matter people and all those protests and all those getting them out of jail and everything else because they were liberals.
Even the ADL's mad at him for doing this.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, if those had been 300 people protesting and shutting down the Capitol, if those 300 had been wearing MAGA hats, they'd still be in jail.
Donald Trump Jr. tweeted last night. He says, well, obviously, if you're a Republican conservative, you're the only one that's going to get in trouble these days.
If they had been wearing MAGA hats, they would not only be in jail, there would be live broadcasts at every single one of their homes, probably, doxing them and insulting them and embarrassing them. They would all be having to get lawyers. They would be in solitary for a year, facing years in prison.
They'd find whoever organized it. Guess what? They organized this 3 days ago.
That's right.
They flew in from around the country.
These were conspirators to shut down and protest at our Capitol. And I'll guarantee you those are not all American citizens. I'll bet you never know. But either way, they were conspirators. They were guilty, therefore, of RICO violations, conspiring to commit a federal crime on federal property against the United States Constitution. I mean, it's unbelievable, and yet there's not a damn word anywhere about them. What happened? Were they taken away in handcuffs? Were they put in jail? Did they get out overnight? Did they have to get lawyers? Did they post bond? What happened to them? Were they free to go? I mean, there's nothing. It's all free to go. If they had been wearing Trump hats, they'd been in jail right now.
White supremacists. We told you about those people.
God, it's just unbelievable. 508, it is not one country. Okay, let's do
it. For much longer.
Oh, there you go. Let's do it. Can we do a fun thing? Let's do a fun thing.
Sure.
We'll do a fun thing. Travis Kelce. And again, we're going to talk a little bit of a romance thing, and I'm getting a kick out of this. I have to say it. In fact, honestly, I hope they do find true love, and I hope maybe they start a family and live together forever. Honestly, I doubt that's ever going to happen. I can't imagine it.
I think it will.
I don't think it'll happen. But
I'm pulling for these lovebirds.
Again, you know what I did Saturday night Friday. Friday on the show we talked about the Golden Bachelor, and that's coming up, and that reminds me of how I gave everything to a girl who wants to have someone else in her final years. So Saturday night, I had a date with Christine. I got in my car, and I hit my Flounder's Magic music stick, and Christine McVie and I had a date for about an hour driving around listening to the wonderful Fleetwood Mac music.
Flounder, when he said he had a date with Christine, for a second, did you not think this was the evil car? And he went out, he popped some Ambien and went out and killed another person?
Yeah, for 1989 or whatever it was.
You gonna blame the car?
I guarantee it. I wasn't even there that weekend, your officer.
She just passed away.
Yeah.
Who did?
The girl from Christine.
What girl?
Are you serious? The young actress?
One of the girl. Yeah, one of the.
I never saw the movie.
Like that pretty brunette, the tall one who was his girlfriend?
No, who was the psychotic girl that went to prom and killed everybody.
Oh no, that was
Piper Laurie.
Yeah, I think she
Piper
just
Laurie,
passed
the mother.
away.
Yeah, we talked about her
So
at length,
close.
Flounder.
Missed it by a lot much.
Pete Tellman on Friday. We talked a long time on Piper Laurie.
That was almost a week ago.
Just started
Yeah, last week.
It was a
no, it's all
couple
right.
days ago.
It's okay. It's okay.
At least I don't have to look it up.
Well, we don't have to look it
Christine
up now.
McVie is dead, too, by the way. So maybe that's what you were confusing it with. Christine McVie of Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, see, that's what my date
Yeah,
was,
that was
Christine.
it. That was it. Yeah.
You're dating a dead woman.
I dated Christine on my magic music stick,
Why don't you
listening to
date
her in the radio.
Date the one that's still alive. Stevie.
Oh, no.
She's
a
better
freak.
looking anyway.
Oh, she's hot, but she's a freak.
I don't care. That's the best
Well,
ones.
good point. What have I got? Chicks need guys with skills. I don't have any nunchuck skills, Wolverine hunting skills.
Hey,
I don't have any skills.
I said when I went to that cafe this morning.
The Donald Trump Cafe up in the mountains. Yeah.
Mineral Bluff. And I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, well, I'm the young. Basically, I walk in, I bring the average age to just under deceased. But there are a couple hot older ladies that walked in.
Oh, they're all over the place.
And I'm sitting there, and they're all dressed up in MAGA stuff and red, white, and blue. And I'm thinking, I could be a kept man.
Well, tonight is the Golden Bachelor after President Stupid Face is making an address at 8 o'clock for 20 minutes. But after that, the Golden Bachelor, which is to me is cringeworthy. And I swear to God, I talked to Amanda, who's 23 or 4, whatever, and she can't wait. She loves the show. She can't wait to see the tonight Golden Bachelor.
Be careful, because every time you talk about Amanda, you give her another year on her age.
Well, I don't know. She looks 18.
Might
but
want to go the other way.
She went to college. She's a grown woman, so she works here. She's got to be 20. I have no idea. I love her. Let's
just say 21 and stay there.
I just a 20-year-old Amanda. So from now on, she's 20. Period.
Well, she can't drink.
Well, all right, then she's 21.
21.
Just turned 21. Travis Kelce has now figured out that the home he was in Kansas City was way too accessible to the media. So Travis Kelce, now that he is dating and maybe in love with Swelsey, the new Taylor Swift, the Swelsey couple, now known as Swelsey, he said, well, this is enough for me. So he bought a $6 million mansion in a gated community nearby, which they can't come and see at all. It has a pool, a swimming pool, a waterfall, and a mini golf course. He says his relationship with Taylor Swift factored into the decision-making in a gated community. It's his money and his purchase. She has nothing to do with it. They were the talk of the town last weekend in New York, staying at Taylor Swift's apartment in Tribeca all weekend together. Mm-hmm. And by the way, he said it was really a thrill being on Saturday Night Live and having all kind of fun. He said, I don't know what skits they were going to do, but they asked me to be in one. I said, sure, it was a lot of fun to be honored. We don't know whether she's going to be there Sunday at Kansas City Arrowhead Stadium. He's going to be there, of course, but she goes on tour in a week, in about 3 weeks. 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
Do you think that she has to have special windows in apartments like in New York City?
I'm sure.
Where you can look out, but someone can't look in?
Absolutely. I'm sure they all, absolutely. You couldn't live in New York.
No. People be looking in all the time.
Have you ever been spied on?
Not that I know. I've been stalked, but I don't know if I'd spied
I got
on.
in Chicago once with oh, God, what a view. I'm the greatest little Pamela. Oh, God. And at her place, and their window was open, and we never made it to dinner.
Oh, you mean that type of spy on?
I was on TV.
Oh.
I was on TV then, so I was. The girls thought I was attractive. So she picked me up and went to her place right nearby mine. Walked to her place. We were there. I was going to take her out to dinner. Never made it. And then after we were done making love on her couch, I looked up and across the way is a high-rise apartment about 20 floors up. I see a guy and his girlfriend waving to me with his telescope.
Chicken bow.
So there's video of that somewhere. Yeah. 5:13 with a Caribbean Flounder, and holy crap, it's sports next. Look out. Well, we gave you an update on Swelsey. Wait till you hear the latest from Britney Spears, and boy, Justin Timberlake looking like a jerk. Also, John Stamos hated that girl Rebecca Romaine, or Romjan, whatever it is. But first, holy crap, it's sports with Pete Davis.
How'd you like to own a piece of Mickey Mantle?
Well, I thought of his estate or his.
Well, that 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle card, which they dumped most of them out in the ocean because no one wanted them. Basically, that goes for like $12.6 million if you have one of those.
Holy cow!
But now you can buy a share of the Commerce Comets boyhood home in Oklahoma for $7.
A share of his home, and then they're going to sell it one day, and you'll get your money back.
Well, the Rally, a collectible company, has bought it for $329,000, and they're going to sell $7 each because number 7 is what he was. Yeah. And you can have a share of his home.
And are they going to keep? Is it open to the public, or is it a museum or kind of thing?
Maybe.
And so you could. Well, we ought to do that. That'd be kind of fun.
You want to do that?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's 3 of us. You want to do that?
We'll chip in. Do we have $7 between us?
No, I don't have 7. I got all my money tied up in quarters. So
cash.
I got to go get my can, my tin can. I have a tin can. I swear.
Just stand out there outside for a while.
$80 in there, man.
And someone will walk by and give you some.
I bet I got $80 in that tin can of quarters and dimes.
Got buried in the backyard. So the front page of the AJC today has a story from Mark Bradley.
Yes, they do.
You might remember Mark.
Yes.
He's the jinx who told us the 96 World Series was in the bag.
It's over now. We got it, yeah.
And just last week said the Braves team, this one would beat the Phillies.
Oh, they're going to beat the Phillies.
Oh, this team's not going to disappoint
you. On the way to the Baltimore Orioles, yeah.
The headline today reads, asking for Braves, what's certain to work in the playoffs? I've got a suggestion.
Yeah.
Quit making predictions in the postseason.
Number 1.
What's it going to take to turn your typewriter off after the regular season, Mark? A GoFundMe page? Anyway, well, think of a vacation next year when the regular season ends. So take a few weeks off.
A well-earned break.
Yeah. Hawaii's nice this time of year. The Max Scherzer experiment, a disaster.
Oh, my God.
For the
I
Rangers
saw that.
last night. Gave up 5 runs in that start, and Texas lost at home to the Astros 8-5. They're still up 2-1, but you know how it works.
Yeah.
When they start losing, they can't stop.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It was the first time they've lost so far in the postseason.
Were you surprised that Scherzer hadn't pitched for a month?
Yeah, there's no way he was going to win that damn. Didn't the big guy hit 2 homers or something like that? Altuve hit one.
Altuve hit one, yeah.
By the way, Astros owned them in Arlington.
Park, yeah.
It's not good. Game 3 of the Phillies Diamondbacks NLCS tonight in Arizona. Phils have the first 2 in the bag and should probably win this in at least 5, if not 4. The Tigers baseball complex is the latest MLB team to get robbed down in the Dominican Republic, joining the Cardinals, Marlins, and Guardians. So they're going down there, these major league teams, to help out these poor areas.
Yeah.
And what do?
Yeah.
The police allowing it, the government allowing it. They're robbing them, and these teams are just going to say, screw this.
Yeah.
Of course,
Why would you go down? Why would you go there?
Well, they're going to stay there because of the talent that's there. They can't abandon it.
Well, then have the talent come up here. We'll teach you up here. We'll fly you up here.
You don't have $7 to your name.
Well, I'm not going to
fly Dominican young men up here. There's a word for that.
I got 7. All right, mister. In fact,
it's called child trafficking.
Hold on a minute right here.
How much you got? Let's see who's got the most on them.
All right, I got a little thing right here.
Wait, we're going to get robbed on the way out of here today.
I got a 1.
What you got here?
I got a 1.
I got
I got a 5. I got a 5.
All right, hold on.
Oh, wait a minute. I went to the. Oh,
wait a minute.
Oh, I never mind.
I got a 20.
Yeah, I got a 20.
This is my. What's that guy from Seinfeld?
George
Wallet.
Costanza with the George Wallet.
Okay, I got a 20. I got a 20 and a 10. And a 20.
Yeah, well, you got 30, 40 bucks.
Oh, look what this. Oh, look what he found.
Is that the 100?
Franklin.
You should always have a $100 bill.
Benjamin.
My father taught me, and I've taught
always
my grandkids.
Always tuck one away in your wallet.
Well, my father taught me, and I've always done it with my daughters, and they get a big kick out of it because whenever I see my daughters, I give them cash. A certain, fairly significant amount of cash, and I say here's your walking around money.
Make it rain.
You should always have walking around money. And for my grandkids, I just sent them the little cash thing and stuff I was giving them, and I called it the little walking around money. So the Peterson tradition continues for 2 generations.
But Dad, you say always fold up 100 and hide it in your billfold.
Yeah.
And I said, well, give me 100 and I'll do it.
There you are.
On this date in Braves history in 1999, pitcher Kenny Rogers walked Andrew Jones with the bases loaded and 1 out in the bottom of the 11th inning at Turner Field, sending the Braves to the World Series with a 10-9 victory over the Mets in Game 6 of the National League Championship Series. I know because I was there.
I had forgotten that.
And I was so nervous. I walked down from the press box and stood behind home plate. Of course, everybody standing up going nuts.
Yeah.
I could not watch. It was 3-2. The count was 3-2.
Man.
I turned and looked the other way. I said, I will let the crowd tell me.
Oh, you idiot.
No, I said, I'll let the crowd tell me. And the crowd told me. Everything went nuts. It's one of the loudest screams I ever heard. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
I'd forgotten that. 90, was it what year?
99.
99, yeah.
99. Of course, they got swept by the Yankees, but then again, Bobby Cox did a great job that year. That team was just devastated with injuries. Yeah. They had no chance against the Yankees.
This was a way better team than that. Well, in fact, this may be the best team the Braves have had in a very long time.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, this year. To this year's team.
This year, because 98 was a fantastic team. Unfortunately, they lost to the Padres, with the Danny Bautista in left field game that I'm still not over.
I'm sorry.
But anyway, remember yesterday when I told you about Southern Cal quarterback Caleb Williams demanding part ownership in the team that drafts him? Yeah. Well, it turns out that story was from last summer. Yeah, some sports writer dug it up to get clicks, and he's famous for doing this.
Really?
So I fell for it. Sorry. Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh has already served a 3-game suspension earlier this season. Now the NCAA is investigating whether the Wolverines sent coaches to not only scout future opponents' games, but to steal their signs as well. What is he, Bill Belichick doing this?
Well, now, wait a minute. Are you not allowed to go watch the opponents play football?
Yes, but you don't steal their signs.
Well, what do you mean by steal? But if they're
taking photos,
well, now wait a minute. If they're doing it out in public, it's like if okay, this is college. This isn't NFL. This is college. Yeah, but still, if the guy is open on a sideline going, doing three motions with his hands, and then the guy's watching him, and then they make a pass play.
I don't know how they're stealing.
How is that? That's not a secret.
I don't know
how. Public.
I don't know how they're stealing. They could have a telephoto lens, and they're taking a picture of his sheet when he holds it up.
if they're getting your game book or something, or getting the especially, obviously.
Well, it's hardball. Of course they are.
Yeah.
We got some football tonight, college football. Rice at Tulsa for the Lounge Suite.
Yes.
What is Rice's mascot? What are they known as?
The Bumblebee, the Fighting Bumblebees.
I will give you this crisp.
The Rice, the Fighting Insurance Salesman.
You do not know.
University of Connecticut.
The Rice Owls.
Oh, I knew that. I did know.
They're one of the few teams that are known as the Owls.
The Kennesaw Owls.
Kennesaw State is known as the Owls.
That's right.
James Madison at Marshall as well, and NFL Jags at the Saints. You just said you didn't care about either one of them. Former Atlanta Hawks head coach Terry Stotts has stepped down as the assistant coach with the Bucks. He had just joined the staff back in the spring. Doesn't say why. Former Lakers star Michael Cooper not happy with LeBron James. Seems LeBron only played the first half of their preseason game against the Warriors. Then at halftime, he changed into his street clothes and sat at the end of the bench. No big deal. Happens all the time.
Preseason.
That wasn't what upset Michael.
Yeah.
LeBron taking out a fruit salad and eating it on the bench during the game.
Yeah,
that was too far.
Yeah, it's not good.
Sad news. Mary Lou Retton's battle against the rare form of pneumonia has taken a scary setback. She was doing better until yesterday. So say a prayer.
Amazing. What the hell?
It must be a really. She must have
blood thing. I mean, I don't. Is it? It's not the COVID virus, is it, or is it?
I don't know.
Is this a react? I mean, I don't understand what they. I don't. They even know what's going on?
That says rare form. I don't know.
Wow.
With thousands of Nazi Hamas supporters taking over the streets of Paris,
the
French police still have found time to raid the headquarters of the Paris 2024 Olympics for the second time.
Oh, for God.
They're looking into corruption.
Oh, bro.
Well, you know it's the IOC.
Well, it is. Of course
it's corruption. When they came here to
Absolutely.
Atlanta, they all had their hands out.
Oh, I remember the guy's wife?
Dick Pound's wife? That Canadian D-bag?
Yeah. Oh, man.
He still hasn't gotten his.
No, yeah.
I don't know if he's corrupt, but he was a dick.
Well, that whole thing was scandalous.
His parents knew what to name him when he was born. Let's put it that way. This date, 1923. I love, you love history, so that's why I'm going to do some history. Citing the unsavory characters associated with the sport, American League President Ben Johnson persuaded American League owners to prohibit certain sporting events in the ballparks. The National League says, no, we're going to still allow it. But the American League said, no, it's unsavory. What sport was so unsavory that they wouldn't let it
in their ballpark? In their ballpark.
Now remember, back in the 1920s, there was stuff that went on in ballparks. Yankee Stadium had a bunch of these.
Wow.
Probably the second biggest sport at the time. What was the second biggest sport in the 20s to baseball? It wasn't football.
Basketball.
No, it wasn't basketball.
Bowling or something.
And college football was bigger than the NFL at the time. The NFL didn't show up to the 20s. Come on. Come on.
Well, you
used to watch them. Gillette sponsored them on Saturday night.
Boxing. That's right, of course.
Unsavory.
Look sharp, da-da-da-da-da, and feel sharp, da-da-da-da-da. That's right. The Gillette Friday night fights.
If I'd known you were going to sing, I wouldn't have brought that up. 2004.
Never missed them. Rocky Marciano. They
undefeated.
Rocky Marciano was on every weekend with Rocky Marciano doing the boxing stuff. Never missed it. Yeah. That was Rocky Graciano, I think.
No, Marciano died in plane crash.
That's right. Marciano died in plane crash.
Graciano was Paul Newman in the movie.
Yeah. Now, Rocky Marciano was my hero. I used to watch him boxing, man.
My uncle used to tell me about him. He's pretty good. 2004, one of the greatest games of all time, and love him or hate him, Curt Schilling pitching on a dislocated ankle tendon held together by 3 sutures the day before. Gave up 1 run, 7 innings with the bloody sock. The Red Sox beat the Yankees 4-2 to save their season for the 3rd day in a row.
Yeah, that was a hell of a game.
That was a hell of a game that he went out there. They said, he faked the blood later. Oh, please.
He didn't fake the blood later. He didn't change socks on purpose. He let people see it. So would I.
He was letting his teammates see it.
Exactly. You do it for the glory of the game to show them I don't give a damn what's going on. With one freaking leg, I'll be out here. Of course you do it like they play. You'll be damn right. You'll go, let me go clean my uniform. Are you kidding me? I said
You're
kidding.
so close.
Oh, by the way, Flounder, why don't we do a new segment here at 106.3? Why don't we play some of the highlights of, say, like the morning show? I don't know. Let's pick a segment, maybe. I heard something this morning, and I immediately texted Pete and Flounder and said, "You're not going to believe this." And if you know what I'm talking about, you were listening at the time.
Do they have a replay of their morning show?
Yes, they do.
Oh,
do you think they edited that?
Go look for it.
Probably not.
Oh.
Well, enjoy the morning show right up that last hour. It'd be good for you.
We have a listener from Jamaica on the phone, Robert, who's a big fan on the show. Yeah,
excellent. From Jamaica?
Jamaica.
Outstanding. Robert, welcome, my friend. Welcome aboard. How you doing? What's up?
Hey, I'm good now. How about you? Listen to me.
Yes.
I want to say about this. When Pete does his laughter with the curmudgeon,
curmudgeon, yeah, laughing.
Yeah, that right there is wicked.
It's wicked.
Flounder is a good guy, man. Trust me. And Kemma, listen to me. When you're joke Terrier, I like your joke Terrier. Your joke Terrier is very good. I like
joke telling. Joke telling. Oh, well, you're very kind. I really appreciate it.
I like your joke. No, listen to me, but no.
Yeah.
Like with Pete is a good guy.
Yes, he is.
Trust me.
I like Pete. No, I trust Pete. And Flounder too.
You know what?
Yeah.
But you know what, Kimma?
Yes.
But
if people don't want to listen to you, trust me, I can listen to you and go to that guy out there. Trust me now. Listening?
All right, man. I love that. I love that.
Your accent.
Outstanding.
All right, but listen, man. But everyone is big about Kimma Peterson. He's a bigger one. Now, trust me, man. We love you. We love you.
Well, I'm very flattered. I mean that. God bless
and
you,
guess
sir.
what? Some things about in life, you get me through. I look a bit things about that now. So I like that now. Trust me, I like that now.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. What a nice thing to say.
Pete,
yes, sir.
And Pete, it's Pete.
Yeah.
You're right. It's a plus. It's a plus. You're right, though. It's a plus.
Pleasure.
Right
a pleasure.
That,
all right.
Okay.
Thank you. The music's playing. We got to go. Thank you.
You didn't know I spoke Jamaican, did you?
531 with the Kimmer Pete Flounder and our Jamaican new best friend here on 106.3. Look out. Da-da-da. It sounded like Smoke on the Water there. What the hell?
It's horrible.
Humble pie.
Oh. This is, again, Flounder Pixar music.
This is Peter Frampton, isn't it?
That's it. Well, I'm going to tell you the whole story. It's 5:35, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And it was on this day in 1968, 18-year-old Peter Frampton met Steve Marriott at a Small Faces show in London. 18-year-old Peter Frampton, after striking up a friendship in 1968, the two started planning a new group which emerged as Humble Pie the next April in 1969.
He walked up on somebody's stage the other night, here in Atlanta, I think, Frampton, and he had to use a cane.
Really? He was here in Atlanta walking? Really?
I don't know if it was Atlanta. It was somewhere, and he had a cane with him.
I'll be damned. Well, he's got to be 8 or 7.
Well, he's had some health problems.
Really? Oh, by the way, we forgot a sports birthday, Pete. The father of Atlanta, Evander Holyfield.
Yeah, you say that when he's not here.
No kidding. 61 years old today. And again, I'll tell you one part of my Evander Holyfield story. I'll leave out the other part because it involves a certain person I don't want to talk about anymore. But I was by myself. I was never with anybody in a family.
Just tell the story.
All right, so I was.
You've told this story recently.
Oh my God!
Let me check the file.
Never mind. I'm not going to tell you now.
You bought something at an auction.
I bought his boxing gloves. I bought his autographed boxing gloves because I was the last person on the signing the page to buy the auction. And I went up and I paid my money and I took them home and I got a phone call the next day. Bring them back. They aren't yours. Somebody had bought them. Outbid me on the other part of the page, and they lied about it. There's somebody just went, I wanted those, and I guarantee you they lied and took them.
They lied.
So anyway, I had Evander Holyfield's bright red boxing gloves for
Who lied
one
to
night.
You? Let's just out him right now.
I don't know. Somebody at
who did the auction? No, don't say it. Don't say it. Just kidding.
Well, I could tell you. Let's see. And on this day in history, I have my history book.
Is this another chapter of history you're going to read?
It could go for a moment.
And now a dramatic reading about history.
It could go for a second.
From Professor Peterson.
We call this, on this day in 1938, the Lindy Flop. Charles Lindbergh goes from public hero number 1 to public enemy number 1, from his bizarre notions about racial purity to his fierce isolationism.
What was that?
What was Foster Brooks over here?
This is 1938. Hitler's rampaging through Europe, and Lindy wants everybody to keep the hell out of it and says we need some racial purity anyway. And that was sort of the beginning of it. Well, on October 19th, on this day in 1938, the world-renowned aviator accepted by order of the Führer Hermann Goering's presentation of the Service Cross of the German Eagle. Lindbergh gets Germany's Service Cross of the German Eagle. Now, Germany was not officially an enemy of the United States, but we knew what was going on, and American critics bristled at how their hero was cozying up to the Nazis, whose assaults against humanity were clear. Secretary of the Interior Harold Ickes, among others, Ickes, I guess it is, if Mr. Lindbergh feels like cringing when he is correctly referred to as a knight of the German Eagle, why doesn't he send back the disgraceful decoration and be done with it? September 11th of 1941, in which Lindbergh delivered a profoundly tone-deaf condemnation of the British and condemning the Jewish people and the Roosevelt administration in 1941. The reaction was immediate and devastating to Lindbergh's reputation. Quote, few men in America history have ever been so reviled. Liberty Magazine called him the most dangerous man in America. His hometown of Little Falls, Minnesota, took his name from their water tower.
Jeez.
The Lone Eagle, unrepentant to the end, had finally crashed.
And basically, he moved to Hawaii, he and his wife, and basically he was in hiding the rest of his life. He wouldn't come out.
Yeah. He was a racist and basically a pro-Nazi. I don't think he really thought about it. He was
mainly isolationist, but he did not like Jews.
Out of it,
And people know this whole thing with Hamas filling the streets and how scary it is. What happened in London with 10 Downing Street being taken over, which, by the way, they do to show they're in control. By taking over the street, they say, we're in control here.
Yeah.
That's the plan. But anyway, so we've seen this. We think, well, this is the first time this has happened. It hadn't. New York had riots with the Nazis in the 1930s 1930s would show up and fill up Madison Square Garden, the German-American Bund, and they would take over the streets. Yeah. And the cops would have to come in with horses and wade through them.
And again, that was Lindbergh, 1938, and then 41 was over when he went.
And now we have Nazis roaming our street again now.
And again, there's not... what college campus would allow these pro-Hamas terrorist-supporting people to agree with the extermination of the Jews?
Because they agree with them. The management agrees with them.
I mean, they wouldn't. If you came in and said we agree with that with black people or Asians, they wouldn't. It would.
I know.
You'd be arrested. Well, they'd kick you out of campus. You wouldn't allow it.
There are millions of us that said,
or women. Let's say we're against women. No more women. For God, we're just against women for now, and no more women allowed.
Those was disgusting in the Capitol. The Jewish ones who took over, they were saying never again. They were actually putting the never again, which is associated with the Holocaust, and associating that with what's going on in Gaza right now. Are you kidding me?
Pretty much the opposite of
the total lack of history. No knowledge whatsoever of history.
I mean, I don't know how we explain it. Is it any better today? I haven't really seen much of national coverage since we've been in here all afternoon. So maybe the protests have kind of stopped.
Right. We said never again. And we mean it. So if they keep this up,
we're not going to take this anymore. We're not going to let this.
Fox says that Biden faces Democratic backlash over support of Israel. Okay, good. Democrats do that. Yeah. Do that. Pick a side here and pick Hamas. All right.
Also, let's remember that President Stupidface also just gave the Palestinian people $100 million.
Yeah.
And that includes, that's the Gaza Strip. That's the Gaza people, the people who live there, the people who are supporting the people who want to kill And along with that, also the Republicans in Congress are now trying to stop their nomination for the new ambassador to Israel because he was in cahoots with Putty Tat in allowing the original Iran deals to go through in the first place.
Yep.
How the hell could he represent America and Israel if he was pro-Iran working with Putty Tat 20 years ago?
FBI is looking into
Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
And the Daily Mail just did a story. They brought their experts in, and they said there's no way in hell that $100 million doesn't go right to Hamas.
Of course it's going to go where, but they want it to go.
All they got to do is show up with guns and say, give us the damn money.
My God. Who's going to stop anybody from doing anything in Gaza?
No. The IDF is the only one who can stop anybody. Man. They're not going to do it.
Anyway, 542. This is so stupid. We mentioned Travis Kelce, the new Swelsey thing. He's bought a new $6 million gated community mansion. So he and what's her name?
Tanya Tucker.
Taylor can have their little privacy. Well, this is also in the news, and this is appalling. I mean, it just really just is horrible. It's appalling. Britney Spears, her new book is coming out, The Woman in Me, on October 24th. And pieces of her are coming out a little bit at a time. Britney Spears confirms the rumors that Justin Timberlake broke up with her by text message. She writes that she was devastated, considered quitting the music industry after he digitally ended their 3-year relationship in 2002.
Wait a minute. I guess we did have texting. Even the flip phones had texting. The iPhone didn't show up to 2005. But we'd probably had texting before the flip phone.
I was comatose in Louisiana. He was happily running around Hollywood. Britney Spears also I was comatose in Louisiana. He was happily running around Hollywood.
Comatose?
Well, she was upset. She was in a coma, being heartbroken after he broke up with her on a text message. She calls out the media for portraying her as a harlot who had broken the heart of America's golden boy after Timberlake infamously implied in his Crimea River music video that she had cheated on him. However, Britney says for the first time she admits to being unfaithful, writing in the forthcoming book she made out with a dancer named Wade Robson at a bar one night. And Britney claims that Timberlake had stepped out on her. She doesn't name his paramour. The former Musketeers dated in the early 1999 area, reached a crossroads in their romance 2 years later. She had an abortion, a surprise pregnancy. Timberlake kind of made her get the abortion. He wasn't going to be a daddy, wanted nothing to do with it. She said if it hadn't been for him, she would have kept the baby. Now, Justin Timberlake says is said to have thought that report on the abortion, he said, was supposed to be a secret forever. That was supposed to be their secret forever. It has now been claimed that Justin, married to Jessica Biel, with whom he has 2 kids, had hoped that decision on the abortion would have remained their secret forever. The release of the excerpts, Justin thought the decision they made was a decision made together, intended to never talk about it. Now that Britney's mentioned it, and it will live forever in her book and whatever else she decides to mention, Justin is going to try not to say anything about it, because he knows whatever he does say from this point on will just be thrown right back at him. Man, this is brutal.
And they're not even divorced or anything, and it's ugly.
Wow.
That was years ago.
Yeah, well, it was 2002.
And her saying I was comatose. That's not a drama queen, is it?
Oh, I'll bet she was. That was America's couple. They were going to remain virgins till they got married. Remember the whole virgin thing?
I don't remember that.
Oh no, they kept saying, "Oh, we have not. We're a virgin. We're keeping our virginity." I remember that very clearly for a year. And then finally, one time, Justin Timberlake on somebody's podcast said, "Yeah, I did it." He kind of said, "Yeah, well, we did it." But they were the America's virgin couple, America's Mouseketeers. America's virgin couple, I promise you. That's the way I looked at it in 1999 for a couple of years, and all of a sudden. Anyway, far, it's 5:45 already. Holy cow, look, Timber, Pete, and Flounder. Look out, here we go. All right, look out. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis and Flounder. And I forgot to, it's 5:49. A little music here from the Yardbirds.
No.
This is just generic. This is the Talking Heads.
Oh, well.
Life during wartime.
Talking Heads. I thought we were going to. I'm sorry. I looked at the list. I thought we had Yardbirds.
I completely forgot about the list.
That's right. Well, in fact, it's a history list. In fact, I'll mention on this day in history, 1966, the Yardbirds arrived in New York for their first U.S. tour with Jeff Beck and Jimmy Page lead guitars. After 2 dates of the tour, Beck developed acute tonsillitis and quit. He would go on to form the Jeff Beck Group, and that gave Rod Stewart his first major exposure.
You know, one of these days, Flounders, we're just going to do an all-history show.
Well,
we're going to find interesting things that happened in history on that. No, wait a minute. What am I talking about?
That.
We do that every day.
Thank you very much. Very funny.
That's the show.
Well, let's do a birthday instead.
All right.
Jeannie C. Riley,
yes.
76.
Harper Valley PTA.
And now I don't suppose I can tell my story once again. I emceed. I'm sorry, it's her birthday. I got to say, I had Jeannie C. Riley. I met her. I held her in my arms. I touched her hand and stuff like that. I was the MC at our when I was at a country disc jockey in Phoenix after I got out of the Marines with Jeannie C. Riley and Bobby Barr and Tom T. Hall. And Jeannie C. Riley was wonderful. She was kind of a country-ish, but she was nice.
Very nice.
And Tom T. Hall couldn't have been nicer. And Bobby Bear was nice, too. Anyway,
did you hold his hand, too?
I did not. He did try to kiss me on the mouth, but that's a whole other story. Let's see. On this day, 1987, you remember this, Black Monday.
Yes.
The stock market dropped 22%, the second largest dump in history. 1987.
I was at the admissions office working there at Georgia State, and I was listening to the radio, and I went around the office and said, do you have stock? Do you have stock? Well, you maybe should look into it.
Down 22% of the whole market. By the next day, markets all over the world had also dropped about 20%. To blame? All those companies in the late 80s had this automated computerized programs which had digitally automatically would put prices under sell if a certain condition was reached. So when all the data was coming into the computers, it said, ding, 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 bad data here, dump all your stock. So they dumped all the stock, and the company go, whoa, wait a minute. It was, and so because of that, on this day in 1987, all the safeguards went into place to say, well, we got to stop doing that because it cost them billions.
And of course, that led to stopping that bad thing in 2008, where everything was just hunky-dory.
Oh, yeah, it was all wonderful there when I lost the last of it.
We got breaking news.
Breaking news.
According to the Daily Mail, the White House is now apologizing for accidentally revealing the identities of U.S. Special Forces in an Instagram picture that was up for hours as they were meeting Biden over there. He showed their faces. The Daily Mail is calling this now mission incompetence.
You know, there are obviously rules in combat.
DOD rules.
Yeah, I mean, this is unconscionable. There's I know it's not. You know, they don't know anything about the military. What the hell does the Biden administration know about any of these people?
6 men they exposed.
Yeah, well, they're on somebody's list right now.
Yep,
they're a target. It's unfreaking believable.
This is the most incompetent, worst president in our history. Dangerous.
It started with Afghanistan. It started the first day he took freaking office. We shutting down the pipeline, and then all of a sudden, boom, Afghanistan. I mean, one day after another. And he's going over to Israel. And again, we should play the audio of him on the plane is so hard to understand. But we won't play it again. But basically, for a minute and a half, just drifts off.
Yeah.
Doesn't know what to say. Doesn't know. He's looking around. His staff members are looking like, oh my God.
They're looking at each other. O'Reilly had a general on last night. He says the same idiots in intelligence that told us the Taliban was going to be quiet when we left Afghanistan, which they weren't, and blew this whole thing with Israel, are the same idiots telling us that the southern border is safe.
And the same idiot, remember, Clapper and Brennan, these guys were the ones who signed the 51 in the letter, and also we've been trying to
Panetta,
Trump from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Panetta was proud he lied.
Yeah. 5:53. By the way, I've got 2 New Yorker magazines and a Vanity Fair magazine. They just keep coming. I swear I read every night. I know. I read every night, and I can't get rid of them. I got another one here I'm going to give to you. But this one has some really good cartoons. One of them is 2 couples, and they're at a picnic table in somebody's backyard. So they're couples, and they're sitting together in the backyard. What's the matter? Oh, Barbara Streisand. Yeah, I know. Well, again, I don't read much of Vanity Fair.
Did you see where she admitted to James Corden she doesn't have a driver's license? She's failed it several times, yet she still drives around L.A. in her car?
I did not see that. Yeah. Oh, my God. Well, there's a couple of really good cartoons in this New Yorker issue. Two couples sitting around at a dinner table in the afternoon, having a little afternoon thing, and the husband in one couple turns to his wife and says, "Okay, I'll tell it, but you jump in and correct me every few seconds." There's about 5 of them that are really good. In fact, there's a picture.
Cartoons are funny.
Cartoons are funny. One of Wile E. Coyote standing in front of the tunnel, of the fake tunnel. He's standing in front of a stone wall, mountain wall, and he's painted a tunnel and for the Roadrunner. And there's Wile E. Coyote saying, "Aha, an art degree will never come in handy," they said. And he's painted the fake tunnel for the Roadrunner to kill himself for trying to get through the tunnel.
And that never works.
It never worked. Anyway, so there's 2 New Yorkers and a Vanity
I
Fair.
saw the other night, I hadn't seen it in years, the cartoon of Wile E. Coyote and the sheepdog.
Oh, really?
Working together. He's trying to steal the sheep. The sheepdog's trying to stop him from stealing the sheep. Classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
They were, and they never get old, and they never change, and they're always fun. They're always going to be funny.
And they're
Isn't that
violent
I mean,
as
think
hell.
about that. Think about that. Violent as hell. I mean, it was always somebody got creamed or blown up and made
Acme Dynamite.
explosions. Yeah, I mean, come on. And yet, they'll never be anything but funny. They'll always remain funny.
National Lampoon actually did a thing back in the 70s where Wile E. Coyote finally sued the Acme company for all the failures of the products.
Oh, pretty funny. Have we got time to talk about the gentleman who was imprisoned by mistake, or he was wrongfully convicted for 16 years, spent time in prison, then got out and just got shot in Florida.
In Florida?
I mean, he was a Florida guy, just moved to Atlanta area and got shot in Camden County, Georgia. He was going 100 miles an hour, passing a cop. The cop pulled him over. And it's kind of, here's what happened. The man, again, he spent 16 years in prison for something he did not do. He was, this is in Florida. He got out. The state of Florida gave him $800,000. $800,000 to make up for it. So he's going to buy a house. They say he's a great guy. He forgave the jury. His brother says he was a wonderful guy. Anyway, so he's going 100 miles an hour. Cop pulled him over. He steps out of the vehicle, and the cop says, "Put your hands behind your back." And the guy says, "I ain't doing blank." Mr. Cure is a dead man. He said, "I ain't doing blank." The cop says, "Sir, who are you?" And he said, "Step back here now. You're going to get tased." He lifts his hands up, moves toward the back of the car at the officer's instruction, tells you, put your both hands on the back of the vehicle and turn around. Cure says, "Your name is Officer Who?" Tells him who he is. Cure is heard saying, "Do I have a warrant? Do I have a warrant? Do you have a warrant?" "Wait, no. Grabs the officer grabs one of the arms and pushes on his back. The cop says, "Put your hands behind your back or you're going to get tased." And he says, "Why? Why am I going to get tased?" He says, "Because you're under arrest for speeding and reckless driving." He said, "How was I speeding?" He said, "You're doing 100 miles an hour, you passed me." He said, "That's a speeding ticket." He said, "Sir, in the state of Georgia, these are criminal offenses." He says, "I don't have a ticket in Georgia." He says, "Well,"
you do know.
He said, and Mr. Cure, the dead man, says, "I'm not going to jail." And the cop says, "Yes, you are going to jail." The bad guy lifts his arm up. The cop uses his stun gun against him. Cure is hit with a stun gun, continues saying, "Put your hand behind your back," turns around, they engage in a physical altercation. Aldridge, the cop, tries to use a baton. Cure pushes back, holds down the cop's face and says, "Yeah, bitch," and pulls out his gun. That's when the cop pulls out his gun to shoot him and kills him.
He said, "Yeah, bitch?"
"Yeah, bitch." He fought the cop and says, "Yeah, bitch."
Yeah.
He held the cop's head down in his hand and said, "Yeah, bitch."
Kabang.
And the cop pulled out the gun and shot him. Now, according to a family, he forgave the people who wrongly corrected him. He was helping others. He was helping people in.
Had he been arrested before?
He had a criminal record.
Yeah.
So again, I mean, the whole thing is just horrible. It was horrible that he got wrongly convicted, and he was a criminal before. So he got punished for something he didn't do, but he still got punished, and he did something before. So it kind of evens out. But still, 16 years is a long freaking time to not be guilty.
Right.
And he gets $800,000.
But he was guilty of this.
And he was guilty of speeding and fighting the cop. He was guilty of not cooperating with a cop. And by the way, and I almost say I'll say it. Now listen to what the family said, and this is what makes it worse. The family said, the brother said, he said, "It's so sad. This is what we have to endure as black man, still worried daily when I'm driving." That's what the brother said.
At 100 miles an hour.
That's what the brother said. His mother said from the time he was released, he was never set free. I would live in constant fear every time the phone rang and he wasn't home, that even if he was at work, is this going to be the day that they're going to lock him up and beat him up or kill him?
They weren't looking for him.
No, I know.
He brought it on himself.
It's the thing. It's a shame. Everything about this is a horrible shame, and I'm sorry, and we had to end with it because it's just
leave him laughing.
I know that's my motto. Like he said, I gotta go. You're killing me. You're not too funny right now, is it, Mister? Hey, Pete Flounder and the camera. See you tomorrow. I guess probably, maybe. Look out! I gotta go. You're coming. Herb. Look out!
Shannon Burke Show.
Hey, coming up.
WFOM Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. Extra 106.3 FM.
Intercepted by the U.S. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. The Pentagon says Navy destroyer the USS Carney took out 3 missiles fired from Yemen that were heading north.
This action was a demonstration of the integrated air and missile defense architecture that we have built in the Middle East and that we are prepared to utilize whenever necessary to protect our partners and our interests in this important region.
Pentagon spokesman General Pat Ryder has not known what the missiles were targeting. The Houthi rebels based in Yemen have expressed support for the Palestinians and have threatened Israel. Last week, the leader of that group warned the U.S. against intervening in the conflict between Israel and Hamas. In less than 2 hours, President Biden said to address the nation. The White House says he'll focus on the Israel-Hamas war and Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
To appeal to lawmakers and to the American public for a significant aid package for Israel and Ukraine. Ahead of that speech, the White House says President Biden spoke with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to discuss the U.S.'s continued commitment to supporting Ukraine. In Tel Aviv yesterday, the president said he'd be asking Congress for an unprecedented support package for Israel, a total request that also is expected to include money for border enforcement and immigration could total $100 billion.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Another day with the House not able to come to a consensus on a new speaker after Judiciary Committee Chair Jim Jordan's 2 attempts failed.
I plan to go to the floor and get the votes and win this race, but I want to go talk with a few of my colleagues. Particularly, I want to talk with the 20 individuals who voted against me.
A plan that would have expanded powers of the Speaker pro tem was pulled after Republicans couldn't agree. A third Speaker vote could come later today. Wall Street, the major indexes in the red as Treasury yields surged. The Dow lost 250, the NASDAQ minus 128. America is listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at GAWon'tWait.com. That's GAWon'tWait.com.
A lawsuit is filed in Alaska over the Department of the Interior's cancellation of oil and gas leases in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge.
The Alaska Industrial Development and Export Authority alleges in the suit that the Biden administration's cancellation of its leases in the Alaska National Wildlife Refuge's 1002 drilling area near the Arctic Circle was not only a violation of federal law, but that it's had detrimental effects, stripping away Alaska's ability to support itself. The 1002 area leases were initially considered lawful.